Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Price Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, a Boingo Rider Gaston. With me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the tired, stressed out, a little cranky, very unprepared competition. The Vacuuminator is at least here.
What do you mean? What do you mean unprepared? We have a podcast to give to these people.
Sir, have you noticed my background? Have you noticed the other state of my display?
I mean, sure.
I went to take photos this week, and then I didn't have time to clean up, and then I continued not having time to clean up, and then I had to shoot videos half the day yesterday, and then I had to come back and shoot videos most of the day today, and being a YouTuber is not a cushy job, everybody.
Especially when it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's all I'm gonna say. Just ignore the back. Actually, you know what? You don't have to ignor the background.
We'll just zoom
Discord allows me to have you ignore it. There we go. Look at this. Look at this highly professional production we got going on here with the effects and the stuff. And good Christ, that cropping is bad.
It ain't that bad.
I've seen better though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should I keep this or should I just go back to normal?
We can leave it on as a joke. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Oh Jesus! I'm not even knee deep into the comic we're doing on Analytical Fanboys this month. I had time to read 4 issues last night out of 60, and that means I have to read at least 2 every night for the rest of the month if I want to get it done in time for the show. And it was my pick. I did this to myself.
Yeah, you did.
I played myself.
You played yourself like a damn fiddle. Hey guys, what? We got a show to do.
We sure do. Oh,
should we get to it? Should we get to it?
Yeah, because there's a lot. This week is.
We don't have a ton of comics to talk about.
I felt like there were a lot of comics this week. There's certainly a lot of news.
Here's the thing. I think we read a lot of the same books.
Well, there is that, but like this week has just been a lot in general. Like disregarding my own personal. But wow, look at that! It blurs my hands too.
Damn, I didn't know your hands were penises in hentai.
Okay, I'm turning it off. But disregarding my own personal bullshit, this has also just been a massive week for like news and new content releases as well. I mean, we've had new Transformers Earthspark, we've had new Mandalorian, new Bad Batch, there was a big Marvel Legends fan stream, there was a lot of Todd reveals, and AEW Revolution is happening as we speak. So
I am way behind on professional wrestling. It's the form of like I need to catch up, but I also just like I need to get back into the groove of watching it and all that kind of stuff.
You're also at the point where you're so far behind that it would like take you a week straight of watching to catch up. So you might as well just jump into current.
Yeah, so it's like I need to watch like all the clip shows that are like hyping up Revolution, watch Revolution, and start the new season of AEW essentially. Yeah, that's a thing that's going to be happening. Woohoo, hee hee, ha ha, ho ho.
Yeah.
Also,
life,
doesn't help that
I've come at you.
Also, doesn't help that I've been making weekly fucking videos and streaming. It's just like
yeah, it's real fun, isn't it, buddy? Doing
life gets
that
away from you. Hey, you know what? Life gets away from Rex.
poor Rex. Oh my god. Episode.
We watched episode 22 and 23 of Justice League Metamorphosis, where we get the origin story for Metamorpho.
They thought they were being so clever with that title, didn't they?
No, they weren't. They knew exactly what they were doing.
So I'm gonna go ahead and come clean.
Uh-huh.
I don't know a lot about Metamorpho comics wise. I pretty much only know him from like brief cameos in animation. I've only seen this episode like once before, and he was in an episode of Brave and the Bold. And in comics, he's always generally depicted as being one of Batman's pals because I think he was in The Outsiders or something like that. And uh this like going back to this, I was just like, wow, not only is this not a lot of what I've always assumed about Metamorpho, but it also seems incredibly dated, like more so than the rest of the show. This feels like they just wholesale took chunks of like a comic from the 50s or 60s.
Oh, it feels much more of the 60s, just the way all the character design is in the Rex Mason.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 60s ass name right there.
Yeah. It's right up there with Don Draper.
Yeah. I don't mind it though. I don't mind how he kind of feels like a tonal throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did, like, they make it very clear the negative aspects are all on the villain. It's not like Rex is over here going, come on, chicken hits, give me a drink.
Well, he was being a little that way to the stewardess on the train. Like he never gets directly that way, but he's being a little more flirtatious than people would be these days, you know.
Yeah, it's a mix of things. It's also kind of show that he's like he's a cavalier guy. He's that kind of guy, you know, to really show his character growth and progression.
Yeah. But no, he's not the worst part, definitely. The most obviously dated thing is the villain, Simon Stagg. And his henchman, who looks like literally just if a white dude was a gorilla. That's that character design to a T.
Okay, here's the thing. I have read I haven't read a Metamorpho comic. I have read the Terrifics, which was DC
is he in the Terrifics?
Yeah, he was part of the Terrifics because it was Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Plastic Man, and Ghost Girl. Because it was supposed to be like the Fantastic Four, so he's the Thing.
It was that book was literally DC going like, oh, Marvel's not publishing Fantastic Four comics right now. Let's move in on the market a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it was a good book. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
If I remember right, he's a defrosted caveman.
In the comics, he's a defrosted caveman?
Not Metamorpho, the henchman.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Like, he's a caveman. That's...
Because he is just like the archetypical big, stupid lug henchman type.
Mm-hmm. Dear God, the most distinctive hair on the bad guy. It's great.
Oh, yeah. Is it just me or does Simon Stagg look like Colonel Sanders?
Oh, it's because he has a little tiny bow tie.
Oh yeah, he's got the bow tie, he's got the cane, he's got like the white hair that puffs out in weird ways. It's literally just Colonel Sanders, but as your girlfriend's dad.
Here's a question though: did you like Metamorpho? Did you like him as a character? Did you like the story he went through?
I liked him. I don't know if I entirely liked this episode though, especially the way it just kind of ends. There's no real resolution. The man is still a monster mash. He's not going to be able to take that Chicago job like that.
No.
Fucking Simon Stagg still hates him, and his girlfriend has only just now come around. Like, and I've seen the next episode. This man does not just go ahead and join the Justice League. We're not going to see him again until background cameos in Unlimited.
Yep.
So you have no idea what the fuck happens to him after this, and that's really weird.
Yeah, but like...
Mm-hmm. But I do like him. I'm assuming this is like a DCAU-ification, a Timversification, whichever your preferred term for this continuity is, of his comic book backstory, of making him an old war buddy of John's in order to give John Stewart some more focus this week. And that whole aspect of the episode is really fun, where you're taking what is ostensibly a Batman type story of an old friend coming back into your life and then having a horrible accident happen to them and they become a supervillain because of it, and giving that to Green Lantern is actually pretty interesting. And I like the whole way to use it to explore John wondering what his life could have been if he didn't become a Green Lantern, and doing something that I completely forgot this show did, which is pointing out, like, hey, being a superhero doesn't pay. John is poor as fuck, and his best friend is like this rich, highfalutin guy that's going to marry the boss's daughter, and that kind of makes him feel like shit. I thought the first time a superhero adaptation did anything with that was Falcon and Winter Soldier, but no, they're all the way back here in 2001 doing this.
Oh yeah, he just has a really good apartment in fucking space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. I like the dumb, goofy characters of DC that could feel like that. Like, given a little bit of a tweak, this could be a Marvel character.
Oh yeah, no, Metamorpho is a classic, like tragic hero who's got a
Monster
really
guy,
weird
yeah.
sci-fi power set.
And I was watching it, just going like, because you describe Metamorpho, he's like, oh, he can change his shape, and he's a shapeshifter. He can like turn into all these different things, and you go like, okay, so what's different between him and like Firestorm, who can control like elemental like atoms and shit?
Well, Firestorm controls like elements that relate to nuclear fission. Metamorpho can change into any elemental state.
No, Firestorm can make oxygen. He can make nitrogen.
Him doing. What did he do that in? What do you know that from?
Doomsday Clock.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude. I haven't read Doomsday Clock.
He's done it before, but like Doomsday Clock specifically, they're on Mars and like he makes atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think here's the way I would describe it. Firestorm does elemental shit like periodic table. Metamorpho does bio chemical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's water, it's like the gases that could be anything. It could be like blah blah blah, but it's like bio engineered.
Yeah, and I love how they only like kind of explain that in this. Like, Simon Stagg sets up what the powers are supposed to be and what his plans for it are, but like Rex never has the moment of like, oh shit, I can do this and that. He just starts using his powers, and you see him turn into all these different things, and it's like, when did he have time to figure this out? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Who changes the oil in the Batmobile?
Mm-hmm. Watch him turn into a cloud of gas and embarrassingly fly away from his fiancée.
Yeah. Turn into water and go into the sewer.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing, and just how you can tell, like, this is just an excuse for the animators to cut loose a little bit.
Oh yeah. The one thing I will always say about Metamorpho, I just don't vibe with his costume. Do not like the costume.
It is a weird-ass design. It's very dated.
It's very dated. It's just not a good, like... It's, like, visually, color-wise, it's a good layout and you recognize it, but it's not an iconic look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you only really know it if you know Metamorpho and you know him as a character. Okay, so I just looked it up because it was bugging me a little bit. Metamorpho's first appearance was alongside the Element. Oh no, Metamorpho the Element Man debuted in The Brave and the Bold number 57 from January of 1965.
Okay. So this is definitely after the Marvel explosion. This is definitely after... Yeah, no, 75... Yeah, 65. Yeah, this fits. That fits.
Yeah.
It's not a bad character. It's just like, it's understandable why he's a perennial DCC lister.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like you only ever really see him in team ups. I don't think he's ever had a book of his own, and I don't know anyone who's like specifically a Metamorpho fan. I always hear him mentioned in like discussions of, okay, so after this toy line has made a bajillion Batmans and Supermans, what obscure characters do you really want them to do to fill out your shelf?
oh, I want Metamorpho. I wouldn't say he is like no, because I'm trying to think of any like C-listers Marvel has that would be like equivalent. I don't know.
I it's weird. The MCU has made it really hard to determine who's like a B or
Actual,
C lister in
I mean,
Marvel anymore.
because here's the thing: it's either you are S tier, you're Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. You're
Spider-Man.
You're A tier, you're Cyclops. You're those kind of characters. You're B, Moon Knight. You know those kind of guys. Or you're F tier, like you're Maverick. You're fucking you're that one fucker from 3 issues of X-Men. You know.
Yeah. It's weird.
DC has a lot more middle ground, like mid-tier, mid. They have a lot better mid-card.
Yeah, they have a lot more characters that was just, this was a thing we did for like 10 years in the 50s or 60s.
But we're not going to abandon him, and he's going to show up every once in a while because he's a fun-looking dude. He has fun things. It's like, sure, why not show Metamorpho every once in a while?
He's a perennial, oh, that guy!
Yeah, he's fun to see, and it's like, oh, we wanna have a guy who has like fun shape-shifting powers, but we don't want to use John, and we don't want to use Plastic Man. Oh, let's get Metamorpho.
Yeah, and it's not an animal thing, so we can't use Beast Boy.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Okay.
There's so many shapeshifters in DC.
Question.
People forget.
I want you to Google animal mineral molecule. Wait, what is it? The thing from Doom Patrol. Animal mineral
Vegetable Man.
Animal mineral vegetable man and Metamorpho. Do the colors match? Because I just had like brain blast. Do the colors match? Is Metamorpho's colors a reference to that fucker?
It might be, but it doesn't look like it because he's like his torso is half man, half dinosaur, and then on one side his arms and legs look like a tree, and then on the other side his arms and legs look like rocks.
That's how Metamorpho is. Hold on. Holy shit. Did I crack the code? Did I crack the Metamorpho code? Did I crack the fucking code? I don't know. We'll figure this out.
That was how he looked.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here is no, that's a small Metamorpho. I want a big Metamorpho. Give me a big Metamorpho. Oh, Metamorpho had a fucking run in the 90s.
Oh.
Fucking look at this. Look at this. Edgelord shit.
Oh my god.
Look at this. Metamorpho. The deadly element.
That's fucking stupid as hell. DC, reprint that right now.
Wait, Wade? Was this Mark Wade? Mark. I love you, Mark. This is
Mr. Kingdom Come wrote an edgy 90s comic about Metamorpho.
Yeah, 93. Goddamn Metamorpho.
I don't hate that design, though. That face is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, no, it kind of contemporizes it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's Metamorpho. Okay, so we got a orange kind of skin suit. We got scales on the right-hand side. We got metallic looking stuff. And then we got that kind of wood looking stuff.
And he's got like a gray clay face and the trunks.
Yeah.
I put an image of Animal Minimal Vitral Man in the chat if you want to just grab that real quick.
I mean, you'll be minimized briefly.
It happens.
Okay, boop.
Just woke up from a nap. Buster, it's 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m. How could you?
Who are you, Cody Lee Burke?
Okay, here's the thing. There's references. Because look, the bottom left... hold on, you're still down. I forgot to bring you back up.
Okay.
Here you go. Boop. Give it up for Zach.
I don't think it's like a direct reference like they're trying to recreate the character. I think it's people had similar ideas at around the same time, because Animal Mineral Vegetable Man's debut was in The Doom Patrol number 89 from August of 1964. So, like, just a year before Metamorpho.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Metamorpho has had several runs. This one in 1967, issue number 13.
Okay, well, fuck me then. I guess I'm just an idiot who doesn't have that Metamorpho knowledge.
Get that Metamorpho knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Get metamorphed, bitch. Yo, Metamorpho in Beware the Batman.
Hey,
that's not bad. That's not a bad redesign.
Yeah, he looks a little more
even.
Kinda, I was gonna say He-Man-esque. He looks like an action figure.
Hold on, let's go to Beware the Batman. No, you're not gonna take me to the wiki. Yeah, no, it's not bad. I like the no nose. It's good look.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good Metamorpho.
That's a solid goop boy right there.
That's a solid goopy man right there.
But you know what's not solid about this episode?
What?
So, I like to bring up the voice actors whenever there's something interesting to discuss with them that I already know or that I discovered while watching this episode again, or the episode of the week again. So I'm gonna run down the voice cast for this episode, going from like least important to most important character. So the henchman guy, whose name is Java, he is voiced by Richard Mole. Does that name sound familiar to you at all?
No.
Well, it should, because this man is the go-to voice actor for Two-Face.
What?
He voiced him in Batman the Animated Series, Brave and the Bold, and the Arkham games.
And now he's a caveman.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sapphire Stag, Rex's fiancée and the love interest this episode, she is voiced by Danica McKellar. Do you recognize that name?
No. I'm not good with this.
Modern DC fans probably should, because she is now the go-to voice for Miss Martian since voicing her in Young Justice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now Simon Stagg, her father, he is played by Errol Bowen. Do you recognize that name?
No. I'm not good with names.
He's the psychiatrist from the Terminator series.
Okay.
The first 3 movies, the psychiatrist that thinks, oh god, what's her name? Sarah Connor. He thinks Sarah Connor is crazy. He's that guy who's like administering tests to her when she's in the police lockup in the first movie and the insane asylum in the second movie.
Okay.
And also, he unfortunately passed away this past January.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. I mean, he was up there. He was old. He lived a full long life, but still, that's recent.
Yeah.
What's even more recent is that Metamorpho's voice actor, Tom Sizemore, passed away this week.
What the fuck?
He passed away on Friday.
What? Why the Fate, why have you conspired against us? Rest in peace, dude.
Mm-hmm. He was most known for playing Sergeant Horath in Saving Private Ryan.
He does have a World War II voice to him. He does have a World War II vibe to him. Holy shit! What the fuck? Metamorpho is dead.
I was looking up the cast, and I literally went, "Oh, this dude's in Terminator. That's neat. Oh, he passed away. That's kind of sad, but he was old. What that happens."
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's the main voice actor for Two-Face. All right. Where do I know this? Oh, she's Miss Martian. Okay. Tom Sizemore. Okay, he was in Saving Private Ryan. That's fine. And I didn't see it until I was looking at the news for this week right after I wrapped up watching the episode. Because it was on fucking CBR that he had passed away.
As like, hey, one of the voices of Metamorpho passed away.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is fucked up.
Because he also voiced Metamorpho in Brave and the Bold.
Oh, hell yeah. But it's like...
just... It was a knuckin' futz thing to see, man.
That's fucking wild. I mean...
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Great job.
Yeah.
Good Metamorpho, fun character. I would say a character, not like a character, like A graded character, B graded story.
Mm-hmm. Because it feels rushed and it doesn't really have an ending.
Yeah, no.
It's weird. This feels like the pilot to a fucking Metamorpho show.
So, You know what it makes me feel like? It makes me feel like, because there's a lot of things with Metamorpho. You got to set up like the fiance. You got to set up the businessman. You got to set up all the mutagen. Got to set up all that stuff. I feel like this story would have done 10 times better if it was Plastic Man.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just like he's a crook. He gets caught up in some goop. He's now freaking out. The Justice League have to stop him.
I just had this idea. You know what would have been a great episode of this show that they never did? Just like a murder mystery where Batman's like, I don't know what to do about this. Let me call in a colleague. And it's fucking Elongated Man.
And Sue Debney.
Uh-huh. Elongated Man does show up in this as a background cameo in several JLU episodes, but I don't think he ever like gets anything to do.
He's like one of those weird aspects of DC. It's just like, oh yeah, we have another stretchy guy who solves murder mysteries with his wife. That's it. That's all he is.
And I think Plastic Man might have an episode in JLU, but I'm not sure about that.
Plastic Man's one of the best, though. Plastic Man is genuinely a great hero.
Yeah.
And it's sad that he doesn't have an ongoing.
I think the last time he had a book was during Rebirth. Gail Simone did a mini for him.
But hey, that I think is all we have to say about Metamorphosis, the episode. Other than the fact, very little for pretty much any other member of the cast. It was pretty much just a Green Lantern Hawk Girl story.
Yeah, and even Hawk Girl doesn't show up until like the very end of part 1.
Yeah. No Flash, no Wonder Woman.
No Wonder Woman. We get a little bit of Batman and Martian Manhunter.
Superman shows up to punch the goop, but that's about it.
Also, I hadn't, and I don't think we've ever talked about it, because I didn't notice it until now, but like in this episode, it's really apparent, the cheekbones thing, and like the little streak of gray in his hair. That's only in this season that everybody hates. Yeah,
I don't mind it. Mainly because I don't have super attachment to Superman the Animated Series design.
I had heard people talk about it, but honestly, it had never bothered me until just this watch through of this episode, where I was like, oh wow, it is really apparent here that he looks old.
I mean, here's the thing. I saw a huge big video essay about it, and it's like, oh, that's a neat subject for a video of like why...
I think you linked that to me and I watched it, so that might have something to do with the fact that it bothered me this time.
Pointing out things to make you feel uncomfortable, that's
how the internet works.
That's what friends are for. And a lot of Discord servers, I've been posting a picture of someone who did a pillowed vinyl covered kitchen. So like all the cabinets are fluffy looking.
Was that simply as an art project?
No, it looked like a real kitchen.
That's disgusting. That person ought to be put in an institution.
Well, it's like vinyl. You can wipe it down, technically. But hey, we got some news, baby!
Oh, it's news time, boys!
It's news o'clock. Guess what? First things first, we have some Spider-Verse news. Karan Soni to voice Spider-Man India and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, this is the one and only piece of Marvel movie news this week. And I have absolutely nothing to say about it because I've never heard of this guy before.
You've seen him.
What have I seen him in?
Deadpool.
Oh, I should have. No,
He's a taxi driver.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Makes sense.
Yeah. Also, I really do like the Spider-Man India design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my mind just got overrode by the fact that I don't know anything about Spider-Man India. It's like, I don't understand any of this.
Hey, take the story of Peter Parker. Make it in India. That's it.
That's literally it?
That's pretty much it.
There's like no updating or modifying for that culture.
I mean, there is a little bit. They changed his name to like an Indian equivalent to Peter Parker.
Oh, okay.
Like because there's several P names in India. Like I can't remember what it is exactly. Is it here?
Is it? Did they change the name of their Uncle Ben or?
In the comics, Pavarti Parbak. That's not his name in the fucking. What the hell? That's not his name. That's not what I remember his name being. Hold on.
Oh boy. Here we go, everybody.
This happens a lot. This happens a lot. I'm sorry.
He's having an episode.
Where's the Marvel Wiki? Here it is. Marvel Wiki. Spider-Man India. Look at that. That's what Spider-Man India looked like in the comics, which is just kind of like a modified Spider-Man costume. Oh, it is.
Receipts.
I'm an idiot. I could have swore it was something different.
Wow.
I'm an idiot. There we go. That's the right name. Right.
Wow. 2 corrections for each. 1 correction for each host in the same article.
Also, you should have recognized he's from Deadpool. Look at the background of his photo.
As soon as you said that, I noticed the logos, and I was like, you fucking idiot.
But hey, cool. It's nice to see a different... I wouldn't say he's a fan favorite, but he's always... Spider-Man India is always one of the immediate Spider-Mans they go to show, like, there's Spider-Man everywhere. There's Japanese Spider-Man, and there's Spider-Man India, and it's like, hello, I'm Spider-Man from
Spider
India.
UK?
Yeah, it's part of the Captain Britain's core.
Mm-hmm. The Spider UK... would I be wrong in stating that Spider UK has kind of been subsumed by Spider-Punk in recent years? In like cultural understanding of what the British Spider-Man is.
I wouldn't say that because Spider-Punk is in America.
Oh, okay.
He is American. Spider-Punk's more based off American hardcore than he is on UK punk.
See, and maybe this is just me being ignorant about music stuff. Mm-hmm. I know that punk originated in England, so whenever you say something is punk to me, I think English punk.
It is. Punk did originate in England, but it did quickly move over to America, where it. I'm just giving a quick music history lesson. Did spread to a wide degree, and one of the earliest hardcore, which is a genre, Black Flag was part of it. Henry Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
That's hardcore.
Okay.
It's a genre of punk. One of the big first prominent groups of that was Bad Brains, which is a all black punk band from Washington D.C.
Oh, okay.
So I think
that's that what Spider-Punk is based off on.
I think I wouldn't say he's directly based off of like, oh, Bad Brains was black. So it's more of like in America there is a heavier link between black, like other races being punks, because in England it was all white boy shit, because all the other people were playing ska.
Yeah,
so it's just punk's integrated into ska and it became two-tone, but like that's in the 80s.
Yeah. Isn't history wonderful?
I will not spider these nuts, Buster.
Next article.
The DCU will bring a major Peacemaker character back sooner rather than expected.
Yeah, so this is kind of a two-part thing we have to talk about because on the birthday of Stephen Agee, who is the actor who plays Economos in Peacemaker, James Gunn did a little happy birthday post because they're actually close personal friends in real life. He came to his wedding and all that fun stuff, and he said like. This guy's a great friend. He's an amazing actor, and he's the best live action Economos there's ever been. As like a little joke because there's only been one live action Economos, and that's him.
Is he based off a DC character? Is he in the
Yeah,
comics? Okay.
yeah. There's an Economos in the original Suicide Squad comic.
Okay. Did not know this.
And funny story that I found through listening to the episode of Michael Rosenbaum's podcast that Stephen Agee was on. He met oh god, what's his name? Created the Suicide Squad.
We know
John Ostrander.
Yeah.
He met John Ostrander on the set of the Suicide Squad, and John Ostrander was introduced to him as like James Gunn going, oh hey Steve, this is John Ostrander. He created John Economos, and he's like, oh okay, thank you for providing me with this role, and it's so nice to meet you. And he's like, you look just like the actual guy. That's crazy. And nobody knew until John Ostrander said that he based John Economos on an actual guy he knew.
Holy shit, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you looked like the fucker I based him on. Damn.
Hmm.
Are you his kid?
Yeah, it is a whole thing apparently. But so Gunn made this happy birthday post for Steve Agee and said like you might see his version of John Economos sooner than you think. And everybody went, "Oh, holy shit. Gunn's re-editing fucking he's gonna put him in Shazam 2. That's what he's saying. It's a little hint. It's telling people that they need to check out Shazam 2 because it's gonna be a thing." Guys. He is clearly either talking about Waller or Creature Commandos. Those are the only two places that it would logically make sense for that character to show up again.
It's not like he's gonna turn Economos into fucking Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm. But that happened, and so then during an interview, the director of Shazam 2 had to clarify that the movie has been done since October when it was originally supposed to release, and Gunn hasn't done anything to it.
God damn, sometimes the internet is just incredibly dumb, incredibly stupid. DC fans, I wouldn't say DC fans
don't need to be stupid. We just are stupid, and I hate it.
They dare to be stupid.
Why does every fandom I get decently invested in have to have stupid bullshit happening right now? We got a huge issue with a racist asshole in the Transformers fandom. We've got dumbasses who don't understand toy production in the Power Rangers fandom, and we've got this constant bullshit going on in DC.
Oh, and here's the thing. If we're just talking about superheroes in general, there's a bunch of bullshit going on with Marvel, too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
thank God you're not into VTubers. That's been a fucking kettle of goddamn rotting fish.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I am eternally grateful.
TERFs being TERFs.
Oh. Yay!
Also transphobes being transphobes. Just bullshit.
Also, you know what, while we're on the subject, just bravo, Ron DeSantis. You utter fucking bastard piece of shit.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yep.
Fuck you. I'm never moving to Florida again.
Oh yeah, no. I'm surprised Disney hasn't tried to like cede away from Florida.
Can we just fucking airlift Disneyland to another state?
Disney World. Let's move it. Make it an island.
It's an island off the coast of fucking North Carolina.
No joke. I had a friend basically say like, yeah, no, I'm moving. I'm gone. I don't want to be in Florida anymore. So I don't blame you. I can't move, but ugh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Buster knows what I'm talking about with all the VTuber shit. Ugh.
Anyway, back to comics, back to fun things, right?
Yeah. The thing you were just talking about, Shazam 2 director debunks all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Boop Boop, The Flash, Supergirl. We got a better look at the costume.
Yeah, because an international version of the trailer had an extra little scene where you can see, I'm guessing this is Kara absorbing sunlight for the first time since escaping that facility. And obviously having just put on her new costume, and they put it out as a still, and this is our first like really good solid look at this costume. And I don't know what I can really add to the conversation, because it's like it's literally, if you like the Henry Cavill Superman suit, you'll think this is all right. If you don't like the Henry Cavill Superman suit, you'll think this looks like shit. I'm kind of in the middle, cuz the Henry Cavill Superman suit is one of the only times I've kind of been okay with no trunks. It made sense with the way they designed that suit not to have trunks. But it's also just not a great design. It's not the suit I would immediately think of when I think of Superman. And looking at this, like there's elements of Supergirl costumes in there that I like that they have. They have the 70s slash current world's finest like red shoulders leading into the cape. They have the long sleeves of the modern costumes.
I like how it has like a little thumb ring.
Mm-hmm. But I don't like that there's no boots, that it's just kind of it looks like a onesie, and I don't like the weird shiny lines leading to her crotch that almost looked like a thong.
I don't think it looks like a thong. It just kind of makes it more look like a leotard in silhouette. Supergirl carrying all the minor goodwill I have with this movie on her poor back. I don't.
My poor baby.
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. Overall, I think this isn't a bad costume. It's not bad. It's not awful.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, okay.
And I do also want to use this opportunity to clarify, because back when they announced the Woman of Tomorrow movie, I went out of my way to say I didn't want Sasha Calais to be the Supergirl in that movie, because I didn't think she was right for the role in just her general look. I've come around on her a little bit from the teaser trailer and from this image. I am liking what little we've seen of her as Supergirl. I still don't know if I want her in the Woman of Tomorrow movie, but I'm open to this version much more than I was from the set photos.
Here's the thing. If they go full reboot with it and they get a new Supergirl, you know what I would love to see? Her return as Power Girl.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like a fun little like, haha, this is like how, yeah. I like the shoulders. I think you're right. It is too monotonous on the bottom. I think the different textures do help it a little bit. It's not the worst thing. I think if you did have red boots, the same texture on the boot, it's fine texturally, just color-wise.
Cavill has boots, so why can't she have boots?
I think it's meant to make her look more like sleek and elegant. And on that note, I don't think she needs to have like the classic schoolgirl skirt. Here's my pitch: a sci-fi half skirt that goes like on her left or right half, that looks like it's meant to be like ceremonial.
I could be okay.
Like some alien, like alien costuming, and she's like, "No, this is what we wore on Krypton," all this kind of stuff, and I want to like. It's not solely practical here, but I would like it to represent it somewhat of my culture, because she remembers it more than Clark does.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm very particular about Supergirl costumes these days, because DC had the perfect one in my opinion with the Rebirth look, which was just a comification of the CW suit. And they threw it away recently as like a little fuck you at the end of Woman of Tomorrow for me. And like the current jacket costume is okay.
Yeah.
But I what can I say? I grew up with Supergirl wearing a skirt, and I like Supergirl wearing a skirt.
Yep. Overall okay costume. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Daredevil SpongeBob actor Clancy Brown joins DC's Penguin series.
Yeah, so we've been very lukewarm on the concept of a Matt Reeves Batman universe Penguin show on this podcast.
It's not something I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh god, am I gonna have to watch that? Do I need to watch that for the Batman too, or is that just gonna be like a side thing we can all ignore? But like Reeves is involved with it. There's been rumors that there's going to be a cameo from Battinson, and this recent announcement made me go like, okay, that's interesting. I kind of want to check this out because not only do I love Clancy Brown, he's one of my favorite that guy actors because he's in fucking everything. You go to his IMDb, it's like a mile long.
Hey, may I remind you, he's also Lex Luthor.
He's Lex Luthor, he's Mr. Krabs, he's General Eiling in the CW universe, he's who is he? He's the fucking Deveronian in the Jailbreak episode in Mando season 1, the big red guy. He's in everything. He's had a ton of little movie roles here and there. And now he's coming into the Matt Reeves The Batman universe as Salvatore Maroni, who you'll remember in the first The Batman was mentioned as being the Maroni that got put away during the biggest drug bust in Gotham history, which ended up being like a whole thing about that movie's mystery plot. But that information was given to us by, I forget which, what was it, a Maroni or was it Carmine Falcone, who was played by
the dude who
Agent Simmons from the Transformers movies. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry.
He's a good actor. I've seen several things he's in, and he's good. He's not bad.
And like casting him as like a classic mafioso Italian type in a comic book universe, that's just so interesting, and I gotta see that. I don't know if he's gonna be the main villain of the show, because he's supposedly still in prison by the end of The Batman. So I don't know if he gets out or he's like manipulating things from prison in this show. But like it's just such an interesting casting choice. And I love this actor, so I'm going to at least try the Penguin show now.
I have a pitch for you. What if the Penguin show is the Long Halloween from the perspective of all the bad guys?
Ooh. That would be interesting.
Like, from the perspective of the mobsters, all these crazy fucking things start happening, and the Penguin goes, all right, time to cut my losses here. I'm becoming a crazy guy. You know?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Batman did borrow a little bit here and there from The Long Halloween, so we know Reeves likes that story, at least.
Can't wait to dub over audio from the show over Mr. Krabs.
Oh my god, please. YouTube poop community, come through for me on this.
Come through. But cool, yeah.
Yeah. Great choice.
Constantine 2, Keanu Reeves confirms talks with James Gunn.
Yeah. And he literally just said yes to the question. He didn't elaborate at all because this comes from a Reddit AMA he did to promote another movie where somebody just said, hey, I'm excited you're making Constantine 2. Have you talked with James Gunn at all about like the overall plans for DC movies right now? And he just went, yeah, we talked. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he can say anything.
Yeah, so, like, it's interesting that they talked. We could speculate that maybe this means his movies are going to be retconned to be the first movies in the DC Studios universe, but I fucking doubt it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be labeled Elseworlds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was for John Wick.
Probably it was the John Wick 4 AMA.
I've seen some questions and answers from that AMA. It's cute. Someone asked, like, hey, a lot of the internet loves that you're just like a really cool human being. What's the last nice thing someone did for you? was just like, hey, let's talk about positivity. And he was like, oh, well, the last one what someone did was say I was a really positive person on the internet. Thank you just now.
Hey!
That's like, you just now. It's cute. But he also said like, oh yeah, no, I motorcycle broke down and my friends stayed with me on FaceTime for a long time to fix my motorcycle so I could get out of there. I was like, oh,
Oh, nice.
nice, it's good.
Yeah. Keanu genuinely seems like one of those rare actors that you'd actually really enjoy having dinner with.
James Gunn reveals major casting update in his next DC project.
Yeah, so somebody posted that they were really excited about the Authority movie and asked James Gunn for an update. This is going into production soon. They're almost done casting it.
Creature Commandos.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the Authority for some reason.
That is the Authority. James Gunn posted a picture of the Authority. Someone asked, I'm excited. Any news for Creature Commandos? Because I'm really curious. Starting production, almost done casting.
Oh, then I'm okay. Because then I apologize. We don't even need to talk about this because I think we talked about this news for Creature Commandos last week. I just saw the Authority image and I was like, "What the hell? That's happening now?"
Yeah, it's vagaries. Just don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. But
fucking
hey, you know it did get fully casted.
Oh man, here we go.
The thing everybody on the internet was fucking freaking out about for a week, for like a day. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem got a full cast list.
Yeah, so this is the new CGI movie that's being produced by Seth Rogen, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm not super plugged into Turtles. I don't know everything there is to know about it. But when there's significant news relating to a new adaptation or new like toys for the comics, my ears always perk up just a little bit because I like the Turtles. I'm just not as much of a hardcore fan as I feel like everybody around me is.
Yeah. Well, we got all 4 Turtles. Nicholas Cantu as Leo. Shannon Brown as Mikey. We got Mika Abbey as Donnie. And Brady Noon as Raph. All younger actors. I'm pretty sure they have all done things before. All relatively unknown.
I don't recognize their names, but they might have been in something I've
seen. One of them was a voice actor. One of them was the voice of Gumball. From
I've not watched Gumball, but I know about it.
Yeah, by teenagers. They're played by younger actors. Gumball's playing Leonardo. We got Jackie fucking Chan as Splinter.
This was okay. If you guys listen to Components this week, which you should always listen to Components, like, comment, subscribe to Modular Media. You will hear Buster Sadist news and it not register for me. And then 5 minutes later, I found it on my Twitter timeline on my own and flipped the fuck out. Because I love Jackie Chan. The man is a childhood hero of mine. And this is like perfect casting, in my opinion.
We also got Ayo Edebari as April.
That name sounds familiar. Is that the African American lady from Peacemaker?
I don't remember. Hold on. Her name sounds familiar. I think she might have been in a Jordan Peele movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Buster does say it's a black actress.
Well, here's the thing. April O'Neil originally was fucking black.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they whitewashed April. In the original comics, she was black.
Okay. And Baxter Stockman was, too. I've always known that.
Film. I don't recognize any. She's in Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Big Mouth. The Bear. What We Do in the Shadows. Abbott Elementary.
I haven't watched Abbott Elementary, but people tell me it's good.
Yeah, no, I don't recognize anything she's been. But hey, good on her.
Mm-hmm. I thought I recognized her name.
I thought I recognized her name too.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Cube is Superfly.
I don't know Superfly off the top of my head. I think that's a more like obscure character. This might be like a cameo, or it might be a new character actually. But hey,
Here's
fucking
the
Ice
thing.
Cube, dude. When's the last time he was in a major movie we
yeah.
saw?
There's Baxter Stockman flies.
Okay, so maybe this is a new character.
Yeah. I don't know. We're getting a lot of things.
Interesting.
Because I could have swore maybe he was a toy.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, we're just getting Superfly TNT, the movie. Things. Alright. Seth Rogen is Bebop.
I don't know if I love that choice, honestly. Like, I get Seth is, if he's producing the movie, he's probably going to want to be in it to some degree. But I don't know if I can see his voice coming out of Bebop. It's gonna be interesting to see if it works.
I can see it as Bebop. I can't see it as any other mutant. John Cena is Rocksteady.
Now that I'm like, yes, okay, that's fun. Let's go.
Also, can I just mention, I love how every character gets their own little logo. They look amazing.
I hope those are on the toy packaging. I know that leaked a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember what it looked like.
Yeah, Seth Rogen as Bebop is the most, well, no shit casting choice. Yeah, like, him as Bebop makes the most sense.
Really? Okay.
Because I can't... What do you want, Seth Rogen as the Shredder? Seth Rogen as
Vern.
They're not gonna
would be my expectation.
Vern has shown up in one cartoon. That's it.
He was in the recent live action movies.
Yeah, those were based off the fucking cartoon. That's you know that the people in there who went into TMNT and was like, "Oh, it's the fucking cartoon, right?" Yeah, it's the fucking cartoon. We'll just do it off the cartoon. We'll just update that. Not realizing there's comics and other comics.
Yeah, I know Vern is a nerd, Buster. That's my point. Is Seth Rogen plays goofy, nerdy characters, so that's why he would fit there. Yeah.
He plays relaxed stoners. We got Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko.
Hell yeah. Mondo Gecko is one of those characters that whenever he shows up in Turtles, I'm like, yeah, it's that guy. Because he's semi-obscure, but he's just notable enough that like most people who are at least casual Turtles fans know him. And Paul Rudd, I'm sure he'll have fun with that role.
Oh yeah. We got Natasha Demetroy for Wingnut.
So I don't know much about Wingnut. Would that be a gender bending of that character?
Yes, because Wingnut was a dude. I don't think he was made for the fighting games, but he was like, that's the biggest thing people remember him from. He was the character in the TMNT fighting games in the 90s.
Yeah, I know NECA recently did a cartoon style figure of him, but that's the only way I know him is that got announced and I was like, oh, apparently that's a Turtles character.
Yeah. Rose Byrne as Leatherhead. This is a gender bend.
Yeah, and that's kind of fun. I want to see how female Leatherhead works. So let's get into that.
We also got Post Malone as Ray Fillet.
This is another one that made me flip out because Ray Fillet is one of those characters that I only just recently learned about through the NECA figures again, but I instantly fell in love with him. I love his doofy ass design. And friggin' Post Malone, yeah, it's stunt casting, but I think it could work if they play it right.
It's funny. Hannibal Buress as Genghis Frog.
Yeah. Again, Genghis Frog, only one of those characters that I only kind of know about, but I like Hannibal Buress. I'm an Eric Andre show fan, so I'm down to see him get more exposure like this.
Maya Rudolph, who I don't remember anything she's been in, but I recognize the name and I know I can put the face to it. I know I've seen her in things. As Cynthia Utrom, meaning they're doing the Utroms.
Have the Utroms ever been in animation before?
Other than Krang and the 2003 series. They were big into 2003 into 2012.
Okay, because I don't know much about 2003.
Okay, because the Utroms are the little pink things. They're Krangs. Shredder.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
The only other thing I think we haven't had the Triceratons in movies.
Yeah, which is a shame because the Triceratons are a fun concept.
They're also a big thing in the 2012 series too.
Hmm. Oh, she's Aunt Cass from Big Hero 6. You know, that character that everybody was thirsting after for a few months there.
Oh, they're still thirsting after her.
Oh, nice. Good for them.
Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter Stockman.
Hell yeah, that is perfect casting.
Perfect. Excellent, beautiful. Mwah.
And it came at that announcement came at a great time for me too, because I'm watching Better Call Saul right now, and friggin' oh man, there's so much good Gus Fring shit in that show.
It's good casting. I just hope he gets to really stretch his comedic muscles, because I know he can be a funny motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. I mean, have you heard the story about what he said to his daughters about Grogu's fate?
No?
So while they were filming season 2, his daughters were like, "Baby Yoda is so cute. Please tell me your character doesn't get him and kill him or anything." And he's just like, he gets right up in his daughter's face and he goes, "I step on that frog." And his wife knew he was lying, so she's like sitting 5 feet away and just starts laughing her ass off.
Oh man. Baxter a little bit more deadpan. I want Baxter to be like deadpan scientist that's funny. I want him to be funny.
I want him to be funny, but I want him to be the kind of funny character that's like, he's funny because he's done with everyone else's shit.
Yeah.
That's the kind of scientist I see this Baxter as being.
Yeah. I don't want him to be the butt of the joke. I want him to just be like cool, calm, collected, funny.
He should be kind of like
Mr. Sinister
in Transformers Prime.
Mr. Sinister. You know what I'm talking about. That kind of like, I'm above everything. I know everything. We're just going through the motions.
You've said that. I want him to play MCU Mr. Sinister.
Why is Nathaniel Essex, a man from mid-century, mid-1800s fucking England, a gentry man, fucking black? Don't fucking ask questions. But hey,
he messed with his genetics. He wanted to look that way this week.
God, Nathaniel Essex, ultimate blackface.
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because it works for the character. That's not me endorsing blackface. Don't take that clip out of context.
Oh, buddy. Hellboy, the Crooked Man, adds Yellowstone and Resident Evil stars.
Yeah, so I had no idea this movie was this far along in production. I thought they were just getting started on it. But apparently they've already casted their Hellboy. And I've not heard of this man before. I've not watched any of the stuff he's been in.
Your mom has.
But yeah, but like dude's got the perfect fucking jawline for Hellboy, in my opinion. I posted a picture of him in your server the other day when the announcement came out. And he has a similar, I wouldn't say he has like the same facial structure as Ron Perlman, but he has that same kind of facial structure where it's like, oh, this dude's gonna look good caked in makeup.
Yeah. Very strong features that can be muddled.
Mm-hmm.
I am hesitantly excited for a new Hellboy. It all depends on just how everything kind of plays out.
Mm-hmm. I would say I'm cautiously optimistic because this is a solid casting choice, and Mignola is co-writing the movie.
I mean, he worked on the last one too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
and also like since it's come out just recently, I've seen a little resurgence of people saying that like the movie wasn't actually that bad, that there's some cool ideas in it. The David Herbert one.
Yeah, it's just David Herbert just doesn't look. God damn it! I dropped my fidget. David Herbert.
Oh no!
And everything I've seen David Herbert, he looked like he was just uncomfortable in the makeup. Like he was just not able to actually act the way he would want to act. You know?
Yeah.
His mouth looks stiff. That's the big thing. That's like the big way I can describe it. I'm
That
more
makes
excited for the new
sense.
video game. Yeah, the video. Hey, remember the Hellboy video? Buddy, Hellboy.
Hellboy's about to have a resurgence, I bet.
Hey, guess what?
What?
It's time for comic book news.
Oh
Smaller bunch
boy.
of Hellboy movie will force them to get creative. Yeah. Agatha Harkness reunites with Scarlet Witch in Marvel's Contest of Chaos.
Yeah, so last week we only had a name and like an image for Contest to Chaos, and we didn't have anything really to say about it because it
Yep.
seemed like it was going to be a lesser event. It still seems like that, but this also seems like it's a case of the comics trying to generate a story the MCU can claim they're adapting later, because this is literally Agatha Harkness, the new young, hot, sexy Agatha Harkness that was introduced in Midnight Suns, becomes a villain, and her and Scarlet Witch are gonna fight, and it's gonna cause all the other heroes to get fucked up.
Oh shit,
And this-
unless she loves contests. Well, this one's gonna be chaotic.
Yeah, this is also like the kind of event that it's going to it's the fucking Planet Lazarus format, where there's going to be in a one shot starting the story, but then they're doing a kooky Marvel thing where all the annuals for a bunch of books are going to be how they tell the side stories as the tie-ins, and then at the end of all those there will be another one shot that wraps the story up.
At least it's not interrupting the ongoings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love how Deadpool's just here going like,
Yeah, I might read some of this because I am kind of liking the current Scarlet Witch book, but man, am I not excited about it.
Buster, it's fine to hijack the annuals. Like 90% of the time, it's just like 90% of the time, an annual's just a wank fest of like, we made 12 books.
Yeah, I mean, like, to play devil's advocate, 90% of the time annuals don't matter. So at least they're making the annuals matter to something instead of it being like an extra one-off story that has nothing to do with the main plot of the run, or like
interrupt the run
collection of short stories.
Or interrupt the run like how Venom had to fucking be interrupted for Dark Web.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather it be annuals and just interrupt the flow of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of flow of the book, because we've been both reading both Captain America books, and this is the little crossover they're going to be doing later. We got a new costume for Sharon Carter. It's a good new look. Look at that. It's cool.
Yeah, I don't dislike this look too much. Like I don't. It's one of those things where like I liked her current look. Why you gotta fix what's broken? But also like this looks cool. This is a fine new design that kind of fits in a little more with the new ultra espionage era of Captain America that we're in, and it looks fairly toyetic. I could see this being a Marvel Legends in another year or two.
Yeah, I don't mind the skull mask thing. It's somewhat unique.
Yeah.
Configs makes her look like I can see it. I can see it, Milana. From Mortal Kombat.
Also, this is apparently going to see the return of the Agent 13 code name.
Okay. You know what? Agent 13, Skull, I can feel it. I'm vibing.
And all the shit Bucky's caught up in, because this is going to debut in that Cold War event. It makes sense thematically. I'll give it that.
We also got Marvel launches 20th Century Studios imprint for Planet of the Apes, Alien, and Predator. They're basically going like, these books are going to be on their own imprint over there.
Yeah. And we all kind of knew that was coming when they were acquiring these licenses and going like, we got the license, here's a bunch of kooky variant covers that tie into that, but we're not actually going to do crossover books because, we hate fun apparently. Yeah, I mean, like, this isn't the worst thing in the world. We all kind of saw this coming, and
here's the thing: I would much rather Marvel just make some more imprints for like Disney properties that they own now.
Yeah, It is smarter to do this than trying to force these franchises into the Marvel Comics universe and having that make certain things hard to deal with decades later, like they've historically done. Um,
What are you talking about? Round the Space Knight is totally still canon.
mm-hmm.
So
What are
is
you
Optimus
talking about?
Prime.
It's super easy to reprint the Transformers number free.
Yes, no, the Predator and Alien books are out. I think they are going to be making a brand new Alien book for this imprint, and
Yeah.
they're going to be stopping the Predator book and making a new one.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, as a casual Planet of the Apes fan, I'm slightly interested in checking out this comic, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen because it's coming out in like a month or two, and I don't know where my head's going to be at that point or what else is coming out that week. It's going to depend where the dice land.
I mean,
Really.
ultimately, if you just want to read it, you can read it and see if you like it.
Yeah, then I don't have to talk about it on the show, but I want to. I want to cover everything that slightly interests me in the show that pertains to the show. So, we'll see what happens. In the meantime,
I do also think
okay
this logo is
development.
dog shit. That's a dog shit comic book logo.
Yeah.
Art looks great. The cover looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Planet of the Apes. Alien #1 and Predator #2.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe Disney gets a bug up their ass and goes like, "What if we made like Simpsons comics?"
What if we made Simpsons comics again? What if we made fucking comics about our original characters again? What if we did any fucking comic stuff with our properties without having to have the door kicked in by dynamite?
Yeah. Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. That is a fucking weird ass logo. Why do you have to point that out, Leslie? Why you gotta ruin this? Why you gotta ruin that logo? Power Comics, Super Joe, Unlimited, Summer. Is this just more information about the Joe comic?
Okay, so this is a can of worms.
Ooh.
You'll remember
Uh-huh.
last week we talked about a teaser that a company that nobody had ever heard of before posted saying that they had some exciting news coming next week related to G.I. Joe comics.
Uh-huh.
And we all went, "Oh shit, is this who Hasbro's giving the license to? What is going on? This company is so small. Their website looks like it's from a decade ago, and all their books look like they're homages to 70s Marvel. What is going on here?" And the book they actually announced is Super Joe Unlimited, which is a tie-in comic for a third-party 70s G.I. Joe homage toy line that's happening.
So they just fucking bilked everybody.
Yeah, they totally bilked everybody.
That's scum!
Yeah.
That's scummy!
Mm-hmm. They had us all worried over nothing.
That's scummy.
The cover, I will say this, the cover is like an actual homage to an actual Marvel G.I. Joe issue with 70s Super Joe designs. But, goddamn, dude.
Omni Smash Bros. Rayman shits. Here's the thing, like, this would be like if a third-party Transformer company that, like, made all the, like, third-party, like, this totally isn't this character.
This would be like if they posted the Earthspark logo and they'd be like, "Guess what license we got officially, boys?" And then it's like, I don't even know what it would be like. It's like a GoBot.
Yeah, this is just scummy. Wow, that's probably
insane.
the most traffic they ever got, and it's just wasted now.
Yeah, all there will so much goodwill their company could have had just completely gone
If they had
forever.
just been open, it's like, hey, this is G.I. Joe inspired. We're not doing anything officially, Joe. We're just excited because we like Joe. Then yeah, you
Hmm.
cool, fine. But that was scummy.
Yeah,
Leshy the Dwarf, when's the Ape Escape tie-in coming in? The minute Sony remembers that exists.
yeah,
Hey, you ready to talk about some more comic news?
hell yeah, bro. I'm
Dylan
always
Burnett
ready.
dives into the world of video games with Arcade Kings.
Yeah, this is a new book that's coming out in a couple weeks from a Marvel artist taking an idea to the independent world. And I figured it would look interesting to you and to Buster
Mm-hmm.
because the art style looks like stuff I know you guys have enjoyed before. And the character design is an intentional homage to Ultraman.
Oh, it looks stylish. I like. Yo, it's Candy Cabs, Buster. He's playing Candy Cabs.
Hmm. Yeah, this is written and drawn by one dude, and it's gonna be coming out in the next couple weeks.
Yo, this has like some good vibes. Oh, they're playing. What game is that homaging?
Buster is marking out in the chat.
Oh, yo, look, the game they're homaging's fucking
Street Fighter.
It's not Street Fighter. That's not a Street Fighter character. That's Ryu, but that doesn't look like a Street Fighter. That Yo, no. SNK versus Capcom 2, Mark of the Millennium. That's K Dash. That's fucking K Dash, Buster.
Okay.
That is Ryu. That is K Dash.
Okay. So
And
I
look,
guess
like,
I was right on the money in assuming that this is fucking this is to video games what Do a Power Bomb was to wrestling.
oh yeah, no, this is gonna be like total fight game bullshit.
Hmm.
Where's my fucking?
You are way zoomed in.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Like all the designs look real good. Art looks solid. Oh man, this looks fucking good.
I don't know if I'm gonna check this out honestly, but I knew it was something you and Buster
Hey,
needed to
back.
see.
There's the super mutant from Batman Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks solid. It also looks like a delinquent manga. It's great.
Mhm.
All right, fucking Buster, we're fucking keeping an eye out for that.
Yeah.
It looks, but like it is that looks like SNK versus Capcom, especially the UI they tried to draw. Oh man, that's good. That just makes me go like, yeah, no, this is definitely being made by people who know like arcade culture, fight game culture.
Yeah. So yeah, that I was right on the money there. That makes me happy. I'm glad you guys are excited about
Oh
that.
fuck yeah. You always got to get excited for like the weirdo shit because like
Mhm.
no one else will. Buddy, you ready to talk about some toys?
I am so ready to talk about toys. There is so much toy news this week. We're already
An hour and
we're
a half
like
in.
we're an hour and a half into the show. And I would not be surprised if we're about to spend another 30 minutes just on the toy news.
Hey, guess what? Deadpool 2 SH figure arts. Deadpool figure. Look at him.
Yeah, not much to say about this because this is kind of a re-release, but it's also a repaint. This is a darker, more monochrome color scheme than the initial release was, and they're saying this is meant to be how he looked at the end of the movie. Because if you remember, at the end of Deadpool 2, he gets covered in ash, and he suddenly looks like he's in the X Force
X-Force.
Deadpool look. But this is not exactly that. There's still too much red in there to be that. But this also comes with more accessories than the initial release did, because the initial release just had swords and alternate hands. This comes with a power suppressing collar, and it comes with 3 sets of pistols. There's a regular set, there's a firing set, and there's a smoking set, which seems like a bit of overkill to me. Seems like you could have just engineered it to be 1 set of pistols with interchangeable effects parts, but you know what? You do, you, Bandai.
I'd rather it be separate parts. That way the gun's not as bulky and it looks more to
Mhm.
scale.
Yeah. And I've seen some people getting really upset about this, saying like, "Oh man, we have to buy another Deadpool just to get guns for our Deadpool." You don't have to do that. You could have taken guns off of any other figure, or bought like custom made guns, or made guns yourself with a 3D printer. This is just another Deadpool that they're putting out, and it looks as good as the first one, maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, looks solid. We
Buster
also
put the release date of King of Arcades on their calendar.
we got some Marvel Legends things live stream happening. Hello,
Yep, there
Ryan.
was a
Hello, Dwight.
there was a don't move off the slide just yet.
Okay, fine,
There
fine,
was
yep.
a fan stream on Wednesday for Marvel Legends, and we talked about the announcement.
Fleshy fuck.
Holy fuck, Aleshi. So we talked about last week, they announced a fan stream for Wednesday for the Marvel Legends team, and I had speculated that this was essentially going to be, here's the block of news that you would normally get for New York Toy Fair, but because New York Toy Fair is happening in the fall right now and we can't adjust our production schedule, we're just doing it as a fan stream. And I was pretty much right on the money, because this opened up with Ryan and Dwight joking that it's a fan flannel stream because they both happen to be wearing flannel. And I'm pretty sure that Dwight just threw this on because he had it in the office and he realized he was wearing a shirt that's not brand neutral or Hasbro branded. Because you look at that shirt that's peeking out through his collar there. What does that look like to you?
I can't tell. What would it be?
That's a fucking NWO shirt.
Oh my god! Yo! For life! Yo!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they made that joke, and then they brought up that Dan Yoon wasn't able to be on the stream because he's actually out, not in Rhode Island right now. He's currently living with his parents, helping deal with some personal issues that, of course, they couldn't go into. But Dan Yoon was actually on call with them just before the stream, helping like get things straight and whatnot. And that's apparently where the fan flannel joke came from, because he's like, you're both wearing flannels. That's funny. And then the next day, or no, actually that night, he went on a big Marvel Legends toy reviewers live stream for basically the whole show and went through all the reveals with him and talked about him there. So we have essentially two streams talking about the same reveals from different parts of the team. And that was really cool to see. I love that the Marvel Legends team is so entrenched in the reviewer community now.
Yeah. So the first things it looks like they showed off director's commentary, is some Avengers stuff. Look,
well, they mentioned that they were going to be showing stuff from the upcoming 60th anniversary program as a little teaser. But actually, if you go back to that initial slide, I did want to say one more thing, because if you look over Dwight's shoulder, they never brought this up, but there is the packaging for the MCU Spider-Man free pack of all three Spider-Mans from No Way Home, which we haven't seen before. It was just randomly there in the background with the packaging for everything else that had recently been revealed, because the stream did open up with a lot of recap of the recent social media reveals that we've talked about here on the show. They went into the Puff Adder wave, which is actually shipping right now. I've seen a lot of people getting Puff Adder and various figures from this wave in hand over the last couple weeks. Apparently, Iron Man and Cap both turned out really well. People are a little divided on Wonder Man, but people I trust are saying he's pretty good, and the people who don't mind repaints and are into Serpent Society are in love with Puff Adder. So, wins all around.
Anybody say anything about Orb?
I don't think anybody's gonna have anything favorable to say about Orb. Because I know you like Orb as a character, but he's on the fucking Bucky Cap body, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. And people are so sick of that. They're ready for it to be gone. So yeah, they're rolling over, they're showing them all in hand. Yeah, Buster, the No Way Home free pack actually isn't supposed to ship until the fall of this year, but it's probably going to end up shipping sometime in the summer because of Hasbro releases and whatnot. And yeah, this is really cool. They showed a group shot of the Serpent Society in Marvel Legends so far. They still have a lot of members left to go, but this is like all these members have been released sporadically over the course of 8 years. So one of those figures is like 8 years old, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. We got an Abomination wave? No, Chode.
The Chod wave, the upcoming X-Men wave that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Took me a second. Yeah, it's Chode.
Mm-hmm.
Corsair, Kid Omega, Emma Frost, Fang, Saint Croix, Chamber.
Yeah. I believe this was the first time they'd shown Chod in hand, because I think we had seen him like as a social reveal or something like that. But yeah, I'm still like cautiously optimistic about this wave. Emma and Cyclops both look really good, though.
It's loaded.
I still wish Cyclops had a regular non-smoky effect head.
It's cool though.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool effect. I'm glad they did it.
Corsair looks
cool.
Great.
Corsair looks great. I love that he's on the same body as all his sons. I love that they put out all the male members of the Summers family within like a year of each other.
We have not gotten Kid Cable though. Have we gotten Kid Cable?
We haven't gotten Kid Cable yet. I would love a Kid Cable. That would be great.
Kid Omega, Chamber looking great as always. Fang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. Quantum Mania.
Yeah, the Quantumania wave, the Cassie Lang stature Build-A-Figure, which actually looks way better in hand than I thought it did in the render. I didn't dislike it, but I just thought it looked a little plain. It really pops in person here, and seeing the whole squad together is pretty solid. And actually, another fun thing that happened on this day, the same night this stream happened, Jonathan Majors was on Colbert, and Colbert showed him the Kang figure for the first time. He hadn't seen it before, and he was like, "Oh man, that's so cool! That looks well. The biceps are a little small, but otherwise, it looks just like
me." That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Look at all this stuff. Looks good. Looks solid. Guardians. We've seen these guys already.
Yeah, but it was cool to get to see them talk about it in their own words, and they didn't address the controversy surrounding the Cosmo Build-A-Figure directly, but they did highlight that figure a lot more than there was in the initial reveals. And I didn't realize this. That Cosmo has the same amount of articulation as classified timber, which is kind of crazy because that is like one of the most expressive figures of like a dog type body shape there has ever been. So to see them quickly get that much articulation into a Marvel Legends MCU Build-A-Figure is pretty cool, and kind of makes Cosmo a lot more desirable in my opinion, even if you don't care about the character.
Yeah, the whole crew looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. Looks nice. Oh, he's effect parts for Groot.
Yeah, those were the wings I was telling you might be a spoiler last week.
Yeah.
But then they went into the new Spider-Man wave, the comic Spider-Man wave for this year, which started off with Spider-Man Beyond, Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Before
it went to shit.
Yeah, this is the look that we actually like from when Ben Reilly Spider-Man comics were not the best thing in the world, but pretty all right. And I love that we're already getting a Ben Reilly on the freaking Renew Your Vows body. That is so cool. And that this is going to be like, I think this is the first time that body is being released in a regular wave, which is great.
Yeah, it looks good. And then we have Chasm. I don't mind the off-center Spider-Man logo. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Chasm.
It works for that version of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but this actually really deflated me watching this live, because I was like, you're doing two Ben Reileys in one wave, and one of them is a super current look that nobody likes. Everybody I talk to hates Dark Web.
I like the look. I hate the story. Like, take the look away from what it is, it's fine.
Boingo, I'm going to be nice here.
Uh-huh.
You were the first person I've heard say they like this costume design.
Here's the thing, we heavily associate it with this bad shit story, so that's why it's a bad costume. In and of itself, it's a fine costume.
Okay. I don't like it. But that's just me.
It's Cybergoth Spider-Man. What's the love not to love about Cybergoth Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Just dancing into fucking bullshit.
Also, I think this is Pizza Spidey body, so people are going to be less inclined to buy it anyway because it'll be seen as the outdated. It's got pins. Body the Spider-Man of this wave.
We also got Miles Morales.
Miles in his. Is this still how he looks in the comics right now?
No, he's got his own costume back.
Thank God. Because I hate this costume. I've ranted about it several times on No Prize before. So seeing it made me continued me being deflated. I was like,
here's
really?
The thing, it looks good here. It looks kind of solid here.
I don't think so, because look at that torso. They did the frickin' hoodie as a rubber overlay, so that's gonna kill a lot of the torso articulation.
Yeah. I like the legs. The legs look good. I like the shoes.
I don't. I think this is over-designed. I think it's leaning way too hard into the fact that Miles is a black kid in almost a potentially racist way, and it just looks bad in my opinion. The one redeeming thing I have to say is, well, it's been a minute since they did a comic Miles, so it's nice that they're getting that back into the rotation.
Yeah. The Rose.
The Rose. Okay, this is the first new reveal of the stream that genuinely was like, yeah, let's go. Because I've wanted the Rose for a while. I've wanted Kingpin's baby boy, and we got him teased a while back, so you knew he was coming eventually. And I think he looks all right. It's not great that he's on the old suit body, but it also kind of works. I like that it's kind of baggy and reedy in places. It plays into the fact that the character is a bit of a pretender, that he doesn't really belong in the world that he's trying to take over. This is one I'm probably going to eventually end up picking up.
Yeah, looks good. Looks solid. Then we got Spider-Woman. I don't know which one this one is.
This is Jessica Drew, and I believe this is her current look, or at least that's what they said on the stream, and people were saying afterwards. And this is a more current, more recent costume I actually don't dislike. There could be a little more color in it because I generally associate Jessica Drew with the color red because most of her costumes are primarily red. But this isn't a bad costume design. It's just a lot simpler than you would think. But that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, and then we got.
We got Goat Ross Swag Kino.
Great costume. Boy, they really didn't know how to do the hair, did they?
No, they didn't know. Look, here's the thing. You could either have the poofy, crazy hair, or you could have head articulation. Those are your choices. There's no in between.
I would rather have two heads. One with head articulation with it tied up, and one with the big, poofy, giant Elektra hair.
And they could still very well do that. And yes, I saw that Chip Zdarsky tweet. It was very funny. But also, I don't care. This figure looks amazing. It's a perfect representation of the suit. It's apparently an almost entirely new sculpt. The only reuse on this is the upper torso.
Damn.
But yeah, it's a female figure that's going to have like the baggy pants look. It's got double jointed pinless elbows and knees. It's gonna have like more robust wrist articulation, and it's this badass Elektra Daredevil costume that we've all been saying needs to get an action figure since it was introduced. This is a must get, in my opinion.
No, this was when Daredevil Matt Murdock was in jail, and Elektra was like, "Yo, I want to make it up to Matt, and I want to kind of like keep his haunt on the down low, and I'm trying to be a good person, so I'll be Daredevil and I'll behave like Matt does so I can get into his mind." And by the end, she's like, "Fuck, I understand why you do this, Matt. I understand you now." Now they're married.
She's still wearing this costume, and they're also married now. They're doing the Hawkeye thing. They're both Daredevil. but the Hawkeyes aren't married. It's more of a older brother, younger sister relationship. And
Yeah.
this is
They're
straight
married.
up. These two have been fucking for years, and they just finally decided to get married.
Yeah. Then we have the tarantula.
Yeah, so I only kind of know who the tarantula is. So I saw this and I went, "Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll buy that when I get all the other Spider-Man rogues I want." But apparently, other people were flipping the fuck out about this because Tarantula is a figure that has been in dire need of an update. His last figure was back when Hasbro first got the Marvel Legends likeness in the late 2000s, and that body is dated as hell.
Nice.
And this is a kind of dated body that we've seen a lot before. Obviously, it has pins and stuff like that, but it's a new head, it's new legs, and it's a lot. It's a major upgrade from the tarantula figure that everybody has had for the past however many years that's been.
And the only thing you really need to know about the tarantula is he jumps around and has knives in his feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We also got 90s Spider-Man cartoon, Carnage and Spidey.
Yeah, so we talked about this before. They're changing it up from last year where they did a VHS program of releasing figures based on the X-Men animated series with existing Marvel Legends molds. And here, we've seen these two before. These two were revealed all the way back at PulseCon, but this is the first time seeing them in hand. And these are actual production samples of the Black Suit Spider-Man and Carnage 2-pack that is about to ship out. That's why they went to show us them again to say, like, hey, these are final production samples. This is what these figures are going to look like. This is what you have paid for. Please be excited. And I kind of tentatively am, because I haven't pre-ordered these. I have no pre-orders at the moment, but I've been hemming and hawing about these because I do have a Carnage I really like. But I sold my retro black suit Spidey when I was trying to pay for my new computer. So I do kind of need a black suit Spidey again for my collection in general. And to have one on the Renew Your Vows body, ooh, Lord, that is tempting. And this one looks really nice. I like how they went much more subtle with the cartoon cell shading for the Spider-Man VHS animation figures than they did with the X-Men here.
Yeah, they look really good.
But then they revealed the next 2-pack in the series. For the first time in 26 years, an Aunt May figure is coming to shelves.
She doesn't look happy that she's always like, do I really have to be an action figure?
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, this doesn't look like the Aunt May I know. Yeah, this is based directly off of the 90s animated series. This is how she looked in that show. Yeah, 26 years, Buster. The last time an Aunt May figure came out, I wasn't even a year old.
You weren't born yet, Buster.
Mm-hmm. The last Aunt May figure was a freaking mail away in the Toy Biz famous covers series of 12-inch Mego style figures.
They turned Aunt May into a marketable action figure.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is a perfectly fine way to do her, because you'll notice she doesn't have any of that cartoon cell shading, and there's actually some photo real on her face. So if you want to, you can put this on your comic shelf as a comic Aunt May to fit in with your Marvel Legends, because I don't believe there's ever been a 6-inch scale Marvel Legends style Aunt May before. So that's going to be a gap filler for a lot of people that like having the civilian Spider-Man cast. And honestly, I think this is the most logical place to do her as a release because of her 2-pack friend, her release mate.
Hold on, it popped away. Let me get back.
Yeah, I saw. We're getting animated Doc Ock, and I know this design is very contentious for people. It really does look like an action, like it was just designed to be an action figure, but I love it. This was my Doc Ock growing up.
This is great. I love this. Also, bendy wire tentacles.
Yeah, and the way they revealed this is great, because you'll notice initially it had the old comic Doc Ock tentacles that were just static pieces on it. And Dwight reveals it, and he's like, Doc Ock, isn't that great? You're getting a new Doc Ock. But that's not all. And he starts pulling off the tentacles, and he's like, we know you guys have been asking. We've seen you yelling about this everywhere. Bendy wire tentacles. Are you happy now? And I said, yeah, that's great. That's great, Dwight. I'm really excited. Finally, bendy wire tentacles on a Doc Ock. It's about dang time. It's really so great that you're finally doing this after everybody asking for ages, and everybody saying again and again that I should just mod my Doc Ock with the freaking bendy wire lamp things that you can just get for $1 on Amazon. And I finally went and did that, and I completely messed up my Doc Ock figure doing that with super glue. So now the arm and the torso don't articulate anymore, and I can't take them out. I'd have to get a Dremel involved and completely destroy the back of this figure. But you know what? It's great. It's so great that you finally did bendy wire tentacles, and that they're actually compatible with this Doc Ock. I'm so glad I finally did this mod last year.
You want to talk about it?
That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I'll fucking track down another one. It's fine. You know what? No, this is. I'm gonna get this. This is just gonna be my shelf Doc Ock going forward. This is gonna be the Doc Ock in my collection from now on.
It's a good Doc Ock.
And that other guy, he can live in a bin for the rest of his life, because I wouldn't even be comfortable reselling that to somebody.
But yeah, no. Also, the bendy wire ones aren't cell shaded, so you can use them with the other Doc Ocks.
And they have the same peg system and everything, is what they pointed out on the stream. And Dan was very specific on the live stream he went on later that night to say, we made sure, because there was a promotional photo of him using the tentacles to walk around, of him being in that pose, and he said, I had like a 10-minute conversation with our photographer, and I said, I want you to try as hard as you can to get him in that pose and report back to me, because we've been told he can do that pose by people on the factory end, but he has to be able to do it. And if he can't do it, if he can't at least hold that pose for like 5 minutes, I don't want you to take a photo of it, because we don't want to false advertise here. We don't want to get people's hopes up.
Yeah.
And apparently the photographer actually timed it, and he got Doc Ock to hold the walking around using the tentacles pose for 10 minutes.
Damn. Hopefully it lasts longer, so you can do like full.
You can have them displayed on your shelf that way. That's what I think a lot of people would want.
Then we have some more Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest.
This was the reveal of their winter program to tie in with the 60th anniversary of Avengers, which Marvel has been promoting this Beyond Earth's Mightiest line of products, and I think there's going to be a comic to go along with this. Celebrate the anniversary of the Avengers that is happening this year. They are doing a whole program of releases over the back half of the year of figures celebrating the entire history of the Avengers. It's essentially filling the same release slot that the Infinity Saga MCU figures had last year, with them going in, plugging a lot of holes in your MCU collection with stuff like a Marvel Legends, Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger from Iron Man 1 and whatnot.
Right. So we got a classic Mark 1 Iron Man.
They came right out with the fucking heat, man, because I've been saying for so long, one of the few Toy Biz figures that still badly needs an update is Mark 1 First Appearance Iron Man. And here it is, and they immediately went, look, we got it right in the cover pose, but also look at the articulation on this thing. And they specifically showed that, like, there's a ball joint at the waist. This thing can move in ways that it logically shouldn't be able to. And that is so exciting. I cannot wait to see photos of this thing by collectors.
Letting the photo load. We got Bruce Banner.
Yeah, for the first time in Marvel Legends, we are getting a comic book Bruce Banner figure that comes in a 2-pack with Grey Hulk.
That's full on the cover colors. Holy shit.
And I'm not gonna lie, my fucking reaction to this was just adding Cody on Twitter.
It's great. It looks amazing.
Gray Hulk. Now Bruce is on the old suit body, which again, I actually think this is a really smart use of the old suit body because he looks really thin and gangly and like the nerd that he should be at that point in his life. But Hulk is the existing 80th Hulk body that you can actually see right behind me, right there. Hey, how about that?
Yay!
But the upper torso is resculpted to be more accurate to the comic, and that's of course a new head sculpt. But one thing that is very cool about it that was pointed out by Dan on the live stream. Look at the shirt underneath the lab coat there. It's the same color as the ripped up shirt for Hulk. I love that. Nice attention to detail.
We got a Thor.
Yeah, so I didn't initially recognize this look for Thor, and people were kind of going back and forth on it, saying like this might be an Eric Masters Thor.
I think that's a late Walt Simonson.
Yeah, that apparently is the consensus. Dan clarified. Now there might be some accessories that could potentially make it into someone else that they weren't able to reveal during this stream, but this is meant to be end of Walt Simonson run 4 as you see it here.
Damn, I was right on the money.
And I didn't recognize this look initially. I had never seen it before, but I gotta say I do kind of dig it.
That's good look.
This is fairly tempting to me because I don't have a comic 4 yet, and I like the idea of 4 with a beard, so I might end up picking this up, especially because it comes in a 2-pack, and the other figure is the fucking Destroyer.
Here's the other thing: you can totally just use that as like an MCU Destroyer too.
And it's finally giving us an alternative to that Diamond Select Destroyer that everybody has and is a deeply mediocre figure.
It looks great.
And it is a wholly new sculpt. It has all the articulation you could want. It has way more articulation than the Diamond Select figure. It's nice and big and beefy. Oh man, I am excited.
It looks good.
I think I'm going to get this, and that's going to be my 4 going forward. And Destroyer's gonna hang out and menace people on my shelf.
Hawkeye with the fucking Sky Cycle.
Yeah, so this is something people have been asking for a while, a new classic Hawkeye with updated articulation, because they've done classic Hawkeye before, but that was before there were butterfly bicep joints in Marvel Legends. So there's never been a Hasbro Hawkeye that can actually aim and fire his bow. And this is going to be the first one that can do that. And they're releasing it as a deluxe with the Sky Cycle because the original Marvel Legends Hawkeye back in Toy Biz days came with the Sky Cycle. So it's kind of a nice update of that. But they were also real keen to mention that, like, hey, usually we do rubber skirting for stuff like capes and skirts like Hawkeye has, but we couldn't get him to sit down on the Sky Cycle without that. So this is the first time in a while we've done soft goods for the skirt, which I think is a pretty smart choice, and I don't mind it at all because, you know, it'll be easy to mod or replace and will look fairly okay if you don't want to do that. But then they also pointed out, like, hey, we made sure there was enough room on the Sky Cycle so that he can take along a passenger. And they didn't say anything else, but this has caused speculation to run a little wild. A lot of people are thinking this might be, like, technically price point free pack of Hawkeye, the Sky Cycle, and finally Classic Mockingbird. A lot of people are speculating that, and cool. I would not say no to that at all, because again, this is another thing where I don't currently have a Hawkeye. I've never owned a Mockingbird, so hey, if this line is just gonna fill a bunch of gaps for me, I'll hold some money back for the winter, baby.
Then we also got fucking Doom and Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, so this is also going to be a 2-pack. They confirmed it is just straight up a 2-pack. And it is specifically, that is Secret Wars Doom. That is original Secret Wars Doom. I didn't realize Doom had a different look in the original Secret Wars. But I kind of dig it.
That's what he did in Secret Wars.
Yeah. And a lot of people have pointed out that because of the more like metallic shaded look of this, you could army build this and have this be your Doom bots, and it would be fairly believable.
The only bad thing is a 2-pack and there'd be so many Monicas.
But I think it would be feasible for some people because this look for Monica has been wishlisted for years. A lot of people have really wanted this look for Monica because this is what she looked like when she was Captain Marvel and she was on the Avengers. And a lot of people are actually pretty nostalgic for this period of her history.
Yeah.
So this is a nice kind of two birds with one stone pack, as has been a recurring theme with this portion of the stream.
Next we got 90s Cersei.
Yeah. They are doing a 2-pack of 90s Cersei and Black Knight.
90s Black Knight with the lightsaber, yo!
Aren't these the looks from that story that Comic Pop just did and was like, this is a classic, like, Avengers story that
I do think so.
Yeah, because I recognized these and I was like, wasn't Sal just clowning on these a couple months ago?
They're great. I love them. You get superheroes in leather jackets. It works. It just works.
Also, look at fucking Black Knight's sick-ass laser sword.
Sick-ass laser sword. Hey, Marvel Legends, can you make Malibu characters so you can send these guys to Malibu?
Also, I could be wrong, but I think this is our first Cersei in the line overall. So interesting choice there.
We've had MCU Cersei.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And of course, a classic Black Widow.
A classic Black Widow, but also they were very specific about this is the introduction of their new updated super articulated female body type that they're going to be using going forward. And they're debuting it with Black Widow, and it's going to be a deluxe standalone release with a ton of different option and effects parts that they're not able to show us just yet.
That's a really good pose.
And this is, again, a huge win, something people have been asking for a long time. A very recent trend over, like, the last year or so has been people saying, like, with stuff like the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and whatnot, the female body, the standard Marvel Legends female body that they've been using for years is really starting to look outdated, and they needed to do something about that. They needed to add in more torso articulation and make the legs and arms double jointed, pinless, and all that. Because, like, hey, GI Joe's doing that. Why aren't you guys doing that? And here they are delivering on that want. And again, on that live stream later that night, Dan Yoon said, this has the same articulation as Renew Your Vows Spider-Man.
That's good. That's real good.
It's insane. I've said this like 4 or 5 times now. But I want to get this. I want this to be my new shelf Black Widow going forward, because like it's a new. This is the new standard for female bodies in Marvel Legends. I gotta get my hands on it and experiment around with it and see how it works. And like, this is the first case where I'm like, oh, I don't already have a Black Widow, so that totally works for me. No, I have a Black Widow I'm perfectly happy with, but I'm also perfectly happy replacing it with this because of how good this looks.
We also got classic Bucky Cap.
Bucky Cap on the Vulcan body.
They did that. They have to have done that on purpose as a joke.
You know, this is insane. This is like a full circle moment. This is like toy history right here. Because remember, Bucky Cap, that's a body type that's been in Hasbro Marvel Legends since it came back in 2012. That body is 10 years old, and they've used it for countless figures. And to the point where people got tired of it and started complaining every time they saw it by about 5 years in. And they made a big deal just a few, what was it, last year before that, with the introduction of the Vulcan body, saying, hey, here's our new updated standard male body that is going to be like the go-to for anybody. We don't know what it's going to be, that they don't need like a very specific body type, that this Vulcan body, that's going to be it. And now, just like a year or two later, they're doing Bucky Cap on that body. That is so cool.
Yep. It looks great. He looks phenomenal. We got Super Skrull and the Skrull Queen from Secret Invasion.
Yeah, 2-pack based on Secret Invasion. Nice logical choice, cool reuse of existing molds. Though it does suck that they revealed this just after they introduced that new female body type, because oh wow, that old Spider-Woman body, that looks pretty outdated now, huh?
Oh yeah. I love that. It's just how wide the hips are now. It's just like,
Mhm. She got them birthing hips, man.
it's just because the waist is so thin.
Mm-hmm. Not really too much to say about these. I think it's a lot of reuse. But I think the heads are new because I think the sculptor posted there was a sculptor who was posting all throughout the stream about like, oh hey, I did that, like he did the new feet and head for Tarantula too.
And then we got a Build-A-Wave. No, is
This isn't a build up.
It's a deluxe.
This is a deluxe release. This is the Super Adaptoid.
Oh yeah.
Or, as I like to call it, I can't believe it's not a Mazo.
Which one came out first?
I don't know. It's just, they're very similar characters.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things. And this is also a very smart case of reuse, because this is based off of the 12-inch Marvel Legends Icon Captain America from about 5 years ago, but with a resculpted chest and a new head, and obviously cast in green with some different accessories, and it works. It's nice. It fills that same kind of price point that the MCU Surtur was at last year. And I really like how it scales with everybody. It's a nice way to end off the line and sort of end off the stream, because that was the last figure they revealed. But then they said, we're not going to do a tease, guys. Marvel gave us this little video package to show. So we're just going to end off with that. Thanks for coming out. We hope you all had a good time. We hope you're excited about some of these. We'll let you know about pre-orders as soon as we can. They actually said that up front, and I forgot to mention it until now. But they were very clear about, like, pre-orders are coming for everything, but the only thing they were able to do pre-orders for due to production issues at the moment was the Doc Ock and Aunt May 2-pack. Everything else is like, you'll get a pre-order for this eventually, and when that happens, you'll get the pretty promotional figures, you'll get the pretty promotional photos, you'll get to see all the accessories, you'll get to see the Build-A-Figure for the Spider-Man wave, all that stuff. But that's the stream. Thanks for coming out. Check out this cool video package Marvel made. We'll see you later. And then all the smart boys like me got a nice little treat.
Hold on, what's this? Load. Designed by oh my god, they're doing a new HasLab.
They're doing an Avengers 60th anniversary Marvel Legends HasLab, and that's all we know. They haven't said anything about it since. But speculation is running rampant. I've seen people saying it'll be like a Giant Man, Antman family multi-pack. I've seen people saying it'll be a Quinjet. Preternia has continued in their quest to get a new Fin Fang Foom made, and said that that's what it should be. Personally, Helicarrier would be too big,
much,
Buster.
too big.
If you're going to make a 6-inch scale Helicarrier, that would be as big as a garage.
Yeah.
But I could see Quinjet happening, and honestly, I'm Team Quinjet. I would love to see a comic style 6-inch scale Quinjet. I think that would be really cool.
Quinjet, yeah.
And it would also allow you to just like get a bunch of obscure characters that you can't do at retail as
Jarvis.
Like the stretch goal figures.
Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, Jarvis.
Oh yeah, Jarvis has got to happen. Oh dude, they could do Carol's fucking husband's son.
No one wants to remember that. I think even Jim Shooter wants to forget about that.
Well, you can't, Jim. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. You wrote it. God damn it. trying to think of who else.
As an Ant-Man family fan, I would be down for a Giant Man multi-pack, especially if it finally gives me freaking modern Janet and Nadia, which I won't lie, I was low-key hoping for the entire time during this stream because they were going like Avengers 60th anniversary program. I'm like, Wasp is an Avengers character. Could I finally get that 2-pack I've been asking for like 5 years now?
You mean Hope? Yeah, we'll give you Hope figures.
No, I want Nadia.
No Hope.
Not Nadia. Nadia Van Dyne.
Know what I want for the 60th anniversary of the Avengers Marvel? I want Hank Pym back, and not as an Ultron. I want Hank Pym back.
Yeah, let's do Hank Pym redemption arc number 674.
I don't need him redeemed. I just need him to come back alive and say, Jesus fuck, that Ultron shit was bad.
But also, they did say that is not all. There will be more in that line revealed as time goes on. So, still holding out hope for Janet and Nadia. It can always happen. Yeah, it was just a huge, incredible stream. Because, like, as soon as they started recapping stuff, I think a lot of people went like, oh, we're not going to see that much new. We might get one more new wave. And the Spider-Man wave, like, there's a couple really cool figures in there, but it mostly seemed like fluff. But then that Avengers 60th anniversary program, like, I don't know if that's a record number of Marvel Legends reveals for a fan stream, but it sure as hell felt like it, because it was just like badass new thing after badass new thing after badass new thing that completely blew the Power Rangers and Transformers live streams and the Indiana Jones live stream that we've had so far this year out of the water. I mean, G.I. Joe has one happening this week, and like, I have faith in the G.I. Joe team. They're still my favorite Hasbro team. But man, they're going to have to go all out to top this.
Have we had a classic Beast recently?
Yeah, they just did the retro-carded Beast.
Okay. Because Beast is also heavily an Avengers team member.
The indie stream was fine, but that team is not charismatic at all. And also they are way more trickle feed about their collector line. They also show off the kids lines on that stream as well, so it's a lot of shared space and not everything gets as much focus as I would like.
Yeah.
About Beast, there has never been like a specific Avengers style Beast. They've done like a bunch of different X-Men ones. Like the Beast body they have is based off of Jim Lee's Beast, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing like a new skinnier, more jovial Avengers Beast. That could be neat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other like big Avengers members that would be cool to have that we haven't really had a figure for.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a figure of her, I believe. The daughter of the Game Master from Avengers No Surrender.
I don't even know who. I only kind of know who you're talking about. I know you told me about that being a thing in Avengers No Surrender, but I don't know if she's had a figure or who she is really.
Should we go? We've spent 30 minutes. We spent 40 minutes talking about Marvel Legends.
I warned you.
We still haven't gotten through the rest of the toys. McFarlane DC Multiverse, Tim Drake Robin, Reborn action figure. Look at him. That's Tim Drake.
Todd also had an event this week. He's been doing his McFarlane Winter Showcase, where he's been showing. He's essentially been doing the, hey, Toy Fair was supposed to be right now, so here's all the Toy Fair reveals, but just online. And there was a ton of DC Multiverse. First of all, this Robin, which looks very similar to a Tim Drake Robin we've already had, but it's a new head, it's a new belt, and the colors are much more classic Robin, because it's based off the initial Robin costume he had in his first miniseries, which I actually own in trade, and is pretty good.
Nice. Good.
Nice rendition of that look, in my opinion.
Nightfall Batman, yeah.
I saw a lot of people actually swooning over this pretty hard, because this is the most classic-looking Batman Todd has done yet.
That's a pretty evergreen Batman.
Yeah, like, I'm not a blue and gray guy, but the look does have a place, And this is a really good rendition of it, in my opinion. I hope everybody who wants this figure gets it and is happy with it.
Yeah. Hopefully it has really good back articulation. McFarlane Toys Steel from Reign of the Superman. Goddamn, that looks amazing.
This looks so good.
This looks good.
Man.
John Henry
I'm
Irons.
hyped for this. And the great thing about Steel, his look has basically never changed. So you can get this and just have it be your current Action Comics Steel if you want to.
Oh yeah.
And this means we only have one member of the Supermen left. Do you not know?
Cyborg? Have we not had a Cyborg?
They haven't done 90s Cyborg Superman yet in DC Multiverse. There's a Mafex, but they haven't done it in Multiverse yet.
So we have had an Eradicator?
There was an Eradicator very early on. Superboy just came out, and now this guy has been revealed. So come on, Hank, where you at?
Come on, Hank. DC Multiverse Hush Superman regular. He looks weird and chunky.
Mm-hmm. This is based off an existing Superman body they already had. I think it's just like the colors are tweaked a little bit, and that might be a new head. It looks fine, but fucking toy companies, would it kill you to make a Superman figure that's smiling for once?
Yeah. Flash movie. First figures revealed. DC Multiverse.
Yeah, these are statues.
Oh, these are statues? Oh, they're McFarlane statues. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because Todd's also trying to revive Movie Maniacs right now. And these aren't branded as Movie Maniacs. They're branded as Multiverse, but they're clearly in the same style as the new Movie Maniacs figurines. And they look fine. It's Burton Batman. Do you like the Burton Batman costume? Do you want a statue of it? There it is. And it's Ezra Miller Flash. Nobody is particularly excited about that version of the character, and I think this suit looks like ass.
Yeah. Good pose, though.
Yeah. If you're going to make a Flash statue, he probably should be in a running pose.
McFarlane Multiverse Flash movie Batmobile Winter Showcase. Look at the Batmobile.
This was the big thing that had everybody flipping out.
Is this scale?
This is a 7-inch scale Burton Batmobile. Do you realize how big that is?
Big as a desk.
That fucking long, at least.
Really overcompensating.
And it looks like they might have actually made the car a little smaller to fit on retail shelves, but to compensate, they made the fucking the cockpit bigger, because on the actual car, the roof is much lower there. I think that what happened is they might have shrunk the car just a little bit, but made the cockpit bigger so you could still fit a 7-inch figure in there, which is kind of funny. But you can't really tell unless you're looking for it. So Nuck and Futz that they're doing this, because there hasn't really been a vehicle in Multiverse yet. I mean, there was the monster truck Batmobile from Metal, but that wasn't even really scaled properly. This is going to be pretty one-to-one with the figures, so that's a nice step forward for that line, in my opinion.
NECA Holothon TMNT Target exclusives. Okay.
Yeah, so Target does this semi-annual thing called the Holothon, which is just their stupid fucking buzzword for we're releasing a bunch of exclusives this weekend. This week it was all NECA TMNT stuff. There's some really obscure fucking cartoon characters I've never seen before, but look neat. And a variant of Bebop and Rocksteady as superheroes, which I understand did happen in an episode of the cartoon.
Yeah.
And Mirage Comics. Oh no, the first thing, Archie Comics. So he wasn't called that in the Archie Comics. He had another name, but this is ostensibly Ray Fillet.
Nice. The fucking inking on him's great.
Mm-hmm. The Archie Comics line, it's really new for NECA, but I've actually been really enjoying it because I didn't know there were ever Archie Ninja Turtles comics. But it's really cool how they've been capturing that art style. And then there's obviously better shot. These are these photos are really out of order.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, better shots of the Bebop and Rocksteady.
They look
And then
great.
the last thing is a 2-pack of Mirage Mutant Shredders, because for those of you who don't know, Shredder dies really early on in the original comics, and then later on he comes back as like a bunch of mutated monstrosities, and there's a bunch of different ones. And this is just a 2-pack of 2 of them. They've already put out 2 other separate mutant shredders, and this is just adding to that little collection. And looks decent enough if you're into that.
Yeah, and we got some accessories.
Cartoon accessory pack.
Nice, cute, and adorable.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of little stuff for all you turtle fans out there, you shellheads. You okay? You okay there, buddy?
What else we got? We got this thing. You'll be able to solve the riddle puzzle blocks by Edward Nygma. What is this?
They're essentially doing a role play item. Todd McFarlane, DC Multiverse Riddler puzzle box. This is, I don't think this is based on anything in specific. It just seems to be like, hey, we had an idea for a role play toy. Because puzzle boxes are kind of a thing right now. I think that's been a trend. I don't know. I'm not plugged into trends enough, but they're doing a Riddler themed one.
That's not a bad idea. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's a cute idea.
Yeah, it looks all right. For people who like those kind of knickknacks and things, I think they'll get a kick out of this.
We also got Spawn 2020X, Wave 5, Monolith Sin, and Medieval Spawn.
Yeah, so these reveals were actually from earlier on in the Winter Showcase, but because I like to do things Marvel, DC, and then independent, we're talking about them now.
Yeah.
So this is the next wave of the Spawn line that's currently at retail, which is called Spawn's Universe. And people were flipping out over this Medieval Spawn, man, because Medieval Spawn is a design that, for whatever reason, a lot of people just love. They don't know anything about the character, but they just love the design. And fair enough, it's a pretty badass looking figure, but also like it's a modern Todd figure. It says it has a lot of articulation, but it's not going to be able to pose very well, I bet you. And that cape is going to be stiff as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a cynical boy. And then, oh god, who is this character? No, the other guy is Sin. This guy is Monolith. That's who this is. This is another.
You mean this guy really published and made Xenoblade Chronicles? The name of the company is called Monolith.
But yeah, no, this is just essentially like a Bane-looking evil Spawn that I think he fought in a recent comic or something like that.
Yeah. Then this man.
This is Sin, and apparently he's a fairly recent like human villain that got powers and was a big deal for a hot minute. I've never seen him before, and I look at him and I just go, that looks like discount store Lex Luthor.
Yep. Oh well, people who are into him are going to be into him. That
a lot of people on my timeline were very excited about Medieval Spawn, so good for them.
Oh man, people are excited for a character who's really good as a toy, getting a toy.
Yeah.
That's all of the toy news.
We did the news is finally done. We did it.
Time to talk about comics.
We spent an hour and a half just on the news, I feel like. It was probably less than that. It's probably more like an hour. It was probably more like 45 minutes, but Jesus Christ.
About 50. Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? We both read X-Force number 38.
Hey, I don't remember very much of this issue. I'm going to
they beat the bad guy. They strap him to a thing, and Domino gets some catharsis.
Oh, yes, that's right. That was the main takeaway from this book is, like, I remember very early on with Percy's X-Force run, when they did that shit to Domino, I was like, I don't know if I like that, because I always thought Domino should be more of a fun character. Why would you do that to her? And, like, the catharsis she gets here retroactively makes it okay with me because
Yeah.
she's grown a lot as a character over this run. Percy has put in a lot of work into Domino, and it does show here. Getting to see where the place mentally that she ends up at the end of this issue, and I'm excited to see where Percy goes from here. Also, like, Percy is an amazing fucking Deadpool writer. This man needs to get the Deadpool ongoing at some point.
Yeah. But overall, good book.
Yeah.
Uh,
You fucking read this?
I did read this.
Man.
And in the utter fucking tradition that is the ongoing Spider-Man series, the spin-off is actually okay. It is not bad. It takes where the character was, does a logical thing with her, and moves her story along with new and interesting twists. Don't doubt me. I'm being serious here. So right now,
you should probably see a therapist about that Stockholm syndrome you got going right now.
No. Let me explain what happens in this book. Let me explain. First things first, she's robbing banks to acquire money, so one day she can break Ben Reilly out and they can just fucking run and book it and not have to deal with anything. That's a pretty reasonable motivation. She's not a good guy. She's a bad guy. She's a villain.
Is she the bad guy? TM Funky Beat starts playing?
No. But she's using her mask and explores her powers, and one day she's robbing a bank and the guard sees her, so she puts on a werewolf mask. You know, she needs the power, does all the things, she does a werewolf stuff. She bites. What? She turns into a werewolf.
You never explained what her powers in this new form are. You just kind of went, oh god, fucking dark web, god damn it, motherfucker.
She has a bunch of different Halloween masks. She puts them on, she gets a different power.
Oh, okay.
So she can put on a ghost mask and she can phase through walls. She can put on a werewolf and she becomes a werewolf. She puts on Frankenstein, she gets super strength.
So she's essentially what the Green Goblin was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she puts on the werewolf mask, she goes feral. She bites the guy. All the while, remember Beyond Corporation? They're back and they're hunting her.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they're back. They're tying it in.
Well then.
See what I mean? That's better than it has any fucking right to be.
Can we just cancel the Spider-Man ongoing and have it be nothing but tie-ins from now on?
At the end of the book ends with her looking at the news, seeing the man she bit and turned into a werewolf, and goes like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Wow.
What the fuck? Why is this any good? This has no right to be good.
Hey,
fuck
did you look at that Paul parody account?
I've seen some tweets from it. I've seen some tweets from it.
It's fucking hilarious.
God damn. We're supposed to be finding out what happened soon. Fuck me. You read Human Target.
The final issue of Tom King's The Human Target.
Does he die?
Out this week.
Is he dead?
And yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush at all. He does die.
Okay.
King
does he come back to life?
He doesn't.
Oh.
This whole issue, it opens with his final moments. Well, as narration boxes, his final conversation with Ice plays out. And it ends up like coming back and in and out throughout the whole issue. Because the whole issue is about Ice dealing with and processing his death. Because she did legitimately fall in love with him over the course of the series, and she feels horrible about the fact that she accidentally poisoned him. And it's her kind of processing her guilt and her grief and all this shit, and like revisiting all the characters that have popped up throughout the run. Like there's a nice little scene with Luigi where we establish that the human target, Christopher Priest, left all his money to Luigi. If you don't know, Luigi is basically like the human target's Alfred. Um, and he left all his money to Luigi, so Luigi's gonna retire. And then we cut forward a few days, because it's remember there was a counter of like he had 10 days to live. So we open on day 10 and then we go to Luigi and it's day 16. And then later that day she goes and catches up with Fire, and she shows Fire that she was given Christopher's ashes, and she put them in the bottle of liquor that he was holding when she first met him. And they're both just kind of staring at it on a coffee table. Well, like Ice is trying not to cry, and Fire is smoking a cigarette and just replying to everything she says with, "Well, fuck, what are you gonna do about this?" She's like, "I don't know. This sucks." And then we cut forward to day 22, where after a Justice League International mission, Martian Manhunter comes up to Ice and is like, "Hey, we need to pick up where Christopher's investigation left off, because it seemed like he was really close to finding his killer. And we should figure that out and get that case closed, get him justice so he can rest easy." And she's like, "Yeah, I got it handled. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Well, you don't understand. I opened a new formal investigation with the Justice League, and like I'm in charge of it. So I was more so asking, like, could I interview you and get caught up to speed on where you and him got?" And she's like, "No, you don't understand. I got it." And as the whole scene is happening, they're like clearing up all this rubble, and she freezes it solid and just turns it to dust as she emphasizes that point. And it's like, John, you're not stepping in on this. This is her thing. And also she's trying to cover her tracks because of, again, she ended up being his killer. And then we cut forward to day 37, where she's just chilling out in the middle of the ocean in her bathing suit on a block of ice she created with Christopher's ashes, and she's talking to it like it's Christopher, and she's like, "I just don't know what to do. I don't want to keep you around because it's such a grim reminder, but I don't know if you'd want to be scattered or if there's somewhere I should bury you or what's going on." And then Guy shows up and immediately starts being a dickhead to her and starts going like, all's well that ends well. That asshole's gone. It's going to be smooth sailing for us from now on, baby. And she plays along for a minute, and she gets in close to him, and she's like, "Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be..." She takes the liquor bottle with Christopher's ashes in it, smashes it across Guy's head.
That's what he would have wanted.
Yeah. It's so fucking perfect. And then we get the flashback to the scene from the end. Minor correction. He didn't have 10 days to live. He had 12 days to live because it's a 12 issue Max series. Mm-hmm. But we flash back to day 11, the scene picking up where the last issue left off with him finding out that she did poison him, and she's just been trying to give him a good last few days, and she ended up accidentally falling in love with him. And he's like, "Okay, well, there's nothing we can do to fix this now. We both know that. But there's one thing I'd like you to do for me. First of all, there's two things. First of all, let me die peacefully alone in my bed. Don't come in until after I'm gone. And secondly, do you have any of that poison left?" And we cut forward to her having a meeting with Lex Luthor on day 110, where they're talking about Christopher and saying it's such a shame that he died, but she's just trying to follow up on the investigation because John asked her to, and she doesn't really know all that. She's just a empty-headed, goofy little valley girl, but she just does what John asks, and here, let me pour your drink for you, Mr. Luthor. Credits.
Damn.
Hmm.
Tom King was told, "You can't have this be in continuity." He's like, "All right, bet." Fuck you.
I think Tom King did it again here. I think this book is a masterpiece from start to finish that everybody should check out. This is. I know there are people who don't like Tom King because of some of his more Tom King-y books. This is a Tom King book I think anybody who is inclined to like Tom King will like. This is another Mr. Miracle. This is another Divisions. This is another Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Read this book if you haven't. It is well worth every penny you will spend on it.
Fair enough, fair enough. We both read Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's a continuation of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to see Destroyer be the one to, like, break out of things because he is the Destroyer.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that they gave, like, this semi-obscure character a big badass moment and send-off in the middle of this Captain America arc. Though, it might have just been me, but I thought it was really excessive that they did it in the form of, like, free consecutive 2-page spreads that were kind of confusing to follow with their layout.
It's fine. It's just, when you got spreads like that, you tend to go, like, the closest caption box, which doesn't always work for, like, people.
Especially when you're zooming in on your phone.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, I legit had to read 2 of the pages twice to make sure I got them right.
Yeah.
Overall, but
though,
no, it's solidly done. It's effective. It does hit, and it's gonna be interesting to see where this arc goes from here.
Yeah, good. It's good stuff. Art's always been good. All the things are great.
Mm-hmm.
I love the back and forth between Captain America and MODOK, where MODOK changes the psychic stuff, and he's like, "Really? You think this is gonna break me?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm Captain America. It's like, I know, I just want to fuck with you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We both read Batman versus Robin.
The final issue of Batman versus Robin.
And the epilogue to Lazarus Planet.
Which now makes this whole series feel really weird and lopsided. Like,
yeah.
Imagine trying to read this in trade, dude.
This is gonna be fucking weird. I will say, though, the individual elements in this book, good.
Yeah, the first 4 issues were a solid mini, and as an epilogue to Lazarus Planet, I really like this. As an ending to this book, it's a bit shaky.
If you take it together as a whole, I say it becomes a really good story. If you take Batman versus Robin 1 through 4, Lazarus Planet Alpha, Omega, and then this, solid, good.
Yeah, but the weird disconnect of having, like, 4 months where you weren't getting any of this story and then suddenly being thrust back into it makes it feel a bit odd for current readers like us. But I do really like this issue. I think this is the best this artist has looked in this book so far. There's some really gorgeous pages here.
The final panel is just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I love a lot of the thematic stuff that's going in here. It's really cool to see just how far Damian has come as a character, from being like the bratty edgelord assassin kid to being the fucking mid-teens. No, I love my dad. My dad can't die. That's nice.
I love how Damian his plan is, though. Like, he's still Damian of like, we need to bring my father back. And he does all this stuff, and it's like, he looks at the magic people and is like, all right, use my life energy. What? Use my life energy, bring Batman back. Perfect. I don't care if I die. No one cares if I die. Batman, he's important. He's like, we can't.
And he's like, and Zatanna's like, Damian, honey, that's not how that works. We can't do that. It's like, what the fuck do you mean?
But, like, it's a perfectly Damian plan to do. It's like, no, he's thinking utilitarian. He's thinking the benefit of everybody. He's not important. Batman's important.
But then they use that to elevate into a bigger metaphor about Batman in general, which is that Batman is important, but he's as important as the whole city is. And that was really nice. Like, even though it's the fucking I do believe in fairies trope,
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was really well done here.
It's Goku asking Earth, give me your energy.
It's all the fucking side characters cheering on Kamen Rider Double during the climax of A to Z. You've seen this climax 1,000 times over, but it's nicely done here.
It's nice, it's good, but it's also just like boat wrapped in a bow because it was Damien willing to give up his life for love for his father.
Like this is a really solid issue and a nice ending to this story. The only minor nitpick I could have is the same one that Reddit was yelling about all day after this release. Where is Duke and Kate? They should have been in this issue when Damien called in the Bat Family. It's really weird that Mark Waid only remembers characters that he's wrote before exists.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Ain't
fine.
the end of the world.
Yeah.
I do also like the whole thing at the very end where Damien's going like, nothing can beat Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, that was such a nice explanation point on the whole series.
Yeah. We both read Rogue and Gambit.
Yeah, so I've been very back and forth on this book since it got announced, and now that it's out and I've read it, this is still really nice artwork from the Exterminators guy, but I kind of stopped caring about the story about halfway through. I was just like, yep, this is Rogue and Gambit, all right. It sure is. It's Rogue and Gambit going on a wacky adventure. Okay.
Yeah. If you want a Rogue and Gambit wacky adventure, that's what you're gonna get.
I guess I don't like Rogue and Gambit as much as I used to think I
You like them as side characters where they can be one-liner machines.
They can be one-liner machines. They can be the Tolkien wholesome moment in an issue, but like a story that's just about them. Either it's like there hasn't been a really good one in recent years for my take on the characters, or I just don't like them on their own.
And there's also the fact that you have to, like, this story also deals with Destiny, who's the mother-in-law, who disapproves.
Which I do like that concept. I like Destiny being the fucking, oh god, it's my mother-in-law character. But it just didn't, like, it didn't hit this issue for me, honestly. And I don't think I'm going to keep reading this.
I don't blame you for not reading it.
Also, like, I will say, like, even though this is still very good work from the Exterminators guy, it's weird that he's doing oh god, what's the term people came up with in the last couple of years? He's still doing balloon tits. Like it made sense in Exterminators because that was like an exploitative goofy bimbos book, but in like a more serious Rogue and Gambit story, when you're doing that with Rogue and Destiny, it looks really dated.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't like about the art, though. The rest of the art is great.
Fair enough. You read Red Zone.
Yeah, so this is a new independent book from Colin Bunn, who used to be quite the big name over at Marvel, but he's been kind of doing independent stuff the last couple of years, and this is the latest venture in that, and this is a spy book that feels like sort of a new take on elements that you would both recognize from James Bond and Indiana Jones, because it's about a elder professor who is the foremost expert on Russian culture in America being drafted into this rescue mission to get an old friend of his out of the country, and it all goes wrong, and the big end of issue reveal is he's actually like way more competent than we think he is, and he had a secret stash of guns in Russia that they're now going to get the daughter of his old friend out of the country safely, because when it all goes wrong, his old friend, it starts off with his old friend being like, hey, it's great to see you, I'm glad you're here to help me get out of the country. We're bringing my daughter with me. It's not up for discussion. We're bringing my daughter with me. And there's a funny moment where he's like, "Wait, is that my?" And the other lady goes, "Yeah, I'm not your daughter." Don't worry about it. But then the old friend gets gunned down along with the rest of the extraction team, and the old professor and the daughter just barely escape alive, and they go to the stash of guns, like I said. And it's a fairly well done opening issue. There's a lot of clever dialogue. It's very tightly paced. The art style is something I haven't seen in a minute. This very kind of like photorealistic but cell shaded look. It's really cool. I like this comic a lot. My main concern would be, Colin, I don't know if it's the right time to do this.
Yeah.
Because they don't bring up the situation at all, but the moment I saw it, I was like, is this going to address that? Is this what that's about? Colin, I don't know if you want to get into like that much of a hot button issue, and they just never bring it up. This book feels like it was written before what is going on started.
Yeah. That's not optimal.
Yeah. But it's solidly done enough that I haven't decided yet, but I am a little tempted to check out the next issue because it's really well done. It's just like that air of uncomfortableness around all things Russia at the moment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I read Stillwater #7.
Hey, you haven't talked about Stillwater in a minute.
Yeah.
How's it going over there?
Well, last we saw Stillwater, the courthouse blew up with nearly everyone in it. So that's happening, and basically a bunch of different people are like running away because like they know, oh, we're gonna be blamed for the bomb, all that kind of stuff. And the Marine dudes, Marine buddies, are coming in and going like, "Hey, we're here to help you control the situation. Just let us live here." And like the guy just like, "All right, fine, fucking get them, whatever." And our main character dude is running away. He's back at his house with his mom, and the mom goes like, "All right, we didn't do this, but they're gonna blame us, and they're gonna fucking do shit to us. We need to figure out a way to like get out of here." Well, what do we go back to my apartment in New York? That's the first place to look. We need to figure something out. And that is when his house gets knocked over. The door goes kablooey, and she gets gunned the fuck down, and he runs to the backyard. One of the Marines is just like, "Oh man, I've been wanting to fuck you up, bud. I'm waiting to fuck. My finger's itchy, bud."
Oh boy.
Then a kid comes out from the woods. It's the one that he saw fall in the first issue, and goes like, "Are you gonna shoot my friend? Get the fuck out of here, kid." All this kind of shit. And they were sword fighting too. Just by the way, because he grabbed 2 sabers that were on the wall for decoration. So they're like using them, and like the kid distracts the Marine, and he chops off the guy's head, and they start running into the woods. And the kid goes like, "Hey man, like you're a child of Stillwater, and you're the only one who got their dream. You got to grow up." And then you see a treehouse village full of kids. They're a third faction in this whole Game of Thrones immortal bullshit.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, gosh. Oh, golly.
Just a bunch of fucked up kids who all hate the world because they weren't allowed to grow up.
It's just a fucking town full of that one character from Black Mirror.
Oh, it's fucked up. Because
we're not Black Mirror, Black Hammer, damn it.
So you see the doctor character, we've met him a couple times in the book. You see him. He is blown to shit. His legs are like blown off and cauterized. He is nothing but like stumps, and he's naked, and they're dragging him, going, "Hey, shut the fuck up." And they just throw him in a truck. Like, it is pure body horror, disregard for humanity.
Nice.
It's fucked up.
I'm never reading this book.
When it says it's a horror book, it's a horror book. Speaking of horror books, I read Ghost Rider #12.
Nice.
They're right outside Savannah, Georgia. It's burning down. Couple cops go like, "Hey, stop. What the fuck you doing?" They pepper spray Johnny Blaze, and he goes like, all right, I'm Ghost Rider now. Fuck
He,
you.
he, he literally says, I'm going ghost.
Pretty much. Because basically Goth Girlfriend says like, hey Johnny, you okay? And he goes like, yeah, it burns. As he's ripping the flesh off of his face and he's turning into Ghost Rider.
Quick question.
Yes.
Does Goth Girlfriend have a fucking name?
Yes, I just don't remember it.
Okay, because you've always only ever called her Goth Girlfriend in my presence, and I'm like, so I have an image of this character in my head, but you've never shown me any images of her, so I have no idea if it's even remotely right, and I kind of want to Google her at
The
this
best way
point.
to put it is she's like that stinky punk rock goth girl
Mm.
where you know they smell a little bit because they haven't bathed in a couple days because they don't give a shit.
Hmm.
I think I may have sent you a panel, but basically he goes into town, he fights some demons, he does all this stuff. He does a really badass thing where he grabs a cross from the top of a graveyard of grave marker. He rips it off the tombstone and turns it into a flaming sword. And then they go like, oh, by the way, Danny Ketch is coming back next issue, and they're gonna have a big old Ghost Rider fight. It's gonna be cool. Ghost Rider's good. Good book.
Nice.
Yeah. We
Talia Warroad is what the wiki says her name.
Yeah, you think I would remember that name?
No.
Talia.
But I'm going to Google her now. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You see what I mean? Like kind of stinky goth girl, but like she's cool.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even immediately think goth looking at that. That looks more like alternative punk to me. But I can see how you would interpret that as goth. Yeah.
I just say goth girlfriend because it's like the meme.
Yeah. Okay. Time. Go time. All right.
We read Action Comics number 152.
1000 and
52.
Yeah. Or 1052 if you're nasty. And this issue was pretty fucking good, huh?
Pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm. The Metallo fight is wrapped up really nicely. I love fucking ultra powerful, just come in and stop the bullshit Superman as he's being portrayed as right now. And then the whole rest of the issue is just like an ongoing family meeting that feels really natural and wholesome. And you get a lot of little moments for all the characters.
Oh, I love the Lois named me Superman, but she also calls you Smallville. She named me that as well.
Yeah, the whole putting the twins down for bed sequence is so good, man. It feels like ripped right out of the writer's life.
Then it ends in a heartbreaking panel.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Because the girl wraps her wrists up with a blanket because she's so used to sleeping with shackles.
It was a gut punch, especially the world reader. But I also just love that during the whole meeting, like before that, Kara is on the couch cuddled up with them and Crypto, and then afterwards when they go to bed, you see she's still in the same spot on the couch, and Crypto is trying to get candy from her, and she's like, "No, dogs can't eat chocolate, you dingus." That's
it's like the background stuff is some of the best fun little slice of life bits.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's like just a little moment where John hands her the chocolate and he calls her Aunt Kara, which I have wanted to see literally since John was introduced into the DC universe.
I have a feeling this is probably your favorite issue so far, just because of all the stuff they did with Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
All the like fun slice of life in this bit
alone, it could have just been that, and I would have been so happy because I've been wanting the wholesome John and Kara team up where he calls her Aunt Kara, and she's like, "I'm not that much older than you,"
but she's just like, "Yeah, no, I'm your aunt. Here you go. Here's a piece of candy."
And like, they've barely had any interaction up till now, and the only other time he's referred to her, he called her cousin Kara, and I was like, that feels wrong. That's not, I mean, it's technically correct, but like
Because
I
she'd be
don't
like a
think he would
second
see
cousin.
her that way. Yeah,
Oh.
but I don't think he would see her that way. But yeah, getting that little moment felt great. And then like it's fucking Hank Hemshaw. That is a punished man right there.
Oh man. Also, one
The
thing I want to mention, I like how John Henry Irons is seen as an equal to Superman. Like they
Yeah.
are both the
I love how they're
heads.
both drawn like brick shit houses.
Like they like look they like converse with each other as like, all right, we're both the big superheroes here. We're the top dogs. We need to keep an eye on our family. Like I like
They're
that.
yeah.
Like they're brothers.
Mhm.
Like that's the way it kind of feels. Is like they're brothers. He has one daughter, and Superman has two sons, and like a sister character, and like
And the daughter.
3 sons and a daughter.
Mhm.
Because Connor's a son at this point.
Mhm. And there's
The
there's
foreign exchange student.
and there's Super Hyphen Man who
Yeah, the foreign exchange
he
student.
hasn't gotten much to do in this book so far. He should get a moment next issue.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
I mean, he showed up. He's helped.
Yeah. But there's that, and then like freaking Metallo breaking out of the fucking vacuum of space and coming back to Earth and just immediately taking out a bunch of MAGA dickheads in order to get a new disguise.
Not just a new disguise. He's turning them into Metallos.
Mm-hmm.
He says like Superman has a family. I guess I need a family too.
Yeah, it's
Oh shit.
oh man. We're gonna get the mighty Kryptonian Metallo Rangers.
Goddamn, that's great. And then the John story was cute. The back in time John
Yeah.
story.
Like it felt very in keeping with the way John was written when he was originally that age. And
I believe that they're putting these little stories in here to just go like, we understand that all of you are pissed that
we
John
fucked
got
up.
great.
We're sorry.
Here's some more. We can't undo it. We're too far into this right now. But here's some more.
Also, like I know it's probably just because it's a naive alien princess, but man, big Starfire vibes. Am I right?
Oh yeah. But it's cute. It's fun.
Yeah, it's the backup continues to be decent, but then
Oh, then you got the story you want. Question, just off the bat, does this make you like Power Girl more now that they've had this conversation? That they've had this bit?
this is really interesting because so I've never seen it as because the ostensibly the point of this month's Power Girl backup is Kara shows up and it's really awkward for the two of them because they're alternate universe versions of each other and they don't talk super often. And they've had one interaction in this continuity so far. There was an issue of them meeting in the New 52 book, but that was during the Hell on Earth saga, and it was more of a fight than anything. So, like, it makes sense that they would be so standoffish here, but it also just clashes with characterization I know from other versions of these characters, where it was like, so the only other one there really is there is Matrix Supergirl. She did interact with pre-52 post-crisis Power Girl once or twice, but that really wasn't made too much of a thing. But when Kara Supergirl came back in the post-crisis continuity, they specifically established that like because they're multiversal versions of each other, they can't get too close to each other or it fucks with hyper time and it's dangerous for the space-time continuum. So there was like a whole issue about that being established at the beginning of that like post reintroduction Supergirl ongoing, just to say like, okay, they have to stay away from each other. It's not going to be a thing. Don't worry about it, readers. So there was this whole thing going on in my head of like, okay, it makes sense that Karen would have this hang up of being ostracized from the super family in this continuity, but it's also weird because, like, in other versions of the DC universe, there's a fucking reason for it. And apparently that just doesn't work in this that's just not a thing in this new universe. So it was this constant struggle, this whole backup of me trying to wrap my head around that concept. Uh, but also I do kind of like Karen's sort of take on Kara that is displayed in this issue, where she kind of takes her to task and goes like, "Oh, you're the perfect one. This is how you see yourself. You're the perfect prim and proper member who keeps the Kryptonian heritage alive." And I'm like, yeah, Karen would see her that way. Members of the super family would see Kara that way, but that's because Kara feels like she has to be that way because of everything she's been through and because nobody else really remembers Krypton. Like that's a thing with her character that is there. And I feel like this story was just missing that little, but also, like, Kara is justified in acting this way because she feels like she has to. It's a very one sided argument. It's a valid argument, and it makes sense because this is Power Girl's book, ostensibly. It was just like, I was like, this is 5 degrees off from being a really great uh meeting of these two characters for the first time in a long time. But it's still fairly solid. It's still pretty well done, and this art, this fucking artist is fantastic. This artist needs to get more work. I don't know how I've never seen them until this backup started.
Savage?
It is about Marguerite Savage.
Savage.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just more of like, it really, my thought behind it was just more of like, this does for Power Girl and gets into, like, I wouldn't say an inferiority complex in comparison to Supergirl, but it's like the contrast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I also just really thought the ending bit was just fun. It's just like Kara just going like, "Oh, we just don't, you don't come by the super family any ton. You never call."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We also didn't engage in open communication. It's all of our fault. You aren't more part of the family.
Yeah, it's really nobody's fault, but it is an issue that needed to be addressed. And Yeah, again, I do like it because it makes sense that they would contrast these characters this way, because a lot of the reason so many people like Power Girl, because Power Girl does have a huge sub fandom that is very
Mhm.
devoted to her, is
Other
she
than the
is
boobs, other than the boobs.
other than the boobs. A lot of people do genuinely like her as a character because she's essentially a more brash, more outgoing version of Supergirl that's able to cut loose a lot more than my personal favorite character is. But I like that about her. It's a weird thing because, like, I've never gotten super into Power Girl. I know a fair bit about her, but she's never been a character I've cared a whole lot about, even though I am a huge Supergirl fan. Though this book might be slowly changing that. I can definitely feel it potentially happening. We gotta wait and see how things shake out as they continue on.
I can totally see what happens of just like they're continuing the super family stuff and the Power Girl in the same book, and then
Hmm.
eventually they converge in one big story, and Power Girl fully becomes like a member of the super family.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the arc here, especially with how direct this issue gets about the issue, haha, of her not being included.
And like I can totally see the panel of like Kara just coming up and goes like, "Nice to have you here. It's nice
Hmm.
to be here." And
Yeah.
Superman just comes up, puts a hand on her shoulder. It's like, "Yeah, super family."
And Superman should have a line of like, Karen, you were always welcome. We didn't call because we just assumed you would know, and I'm sorry we didn't call.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff. And then immediately Crypto just jumps up and licks her face.
Mm-mm.
Hey, guess what? Speaking of tough ladies, you read Red Sonja.
Yeah, Unbreakable Red Sonja #4, continuing on this book that I have been weirdly enjoying as somebody who knew very little about Red Sonja before this.
I mean, seems like
And
Dynamite's just putting out a lot of good books.
yeah, and they've been doing a lot with the Red Sonja license ever since they got it. And this is a pretty solid continuation of the book. We're at a point where there is just so much that has happened that I kind of have to get into spoilers and go beat by beat to do a real solid analysis. But essentially, they're in this weird city that's different from how Sonja remembered it, dealing with this weird cult that seems to have taken over it, and they try to do a bunch of things to deal with it, and then it winds up because remember, this is a fantasy book. The cult, the god that this cult worships, is real, shows up and goes, "What the fuck are you doing fucking with my cult, you bitch?" And Sonja tries to fight it, and um immediately they both get moot. The younger Sonja jumps in the way of this like energy blast that the god shoots at older Sonja as like I'm trying to sacrifice myself for you type thing. But younger Sonja doesn't think about the time stream, and immediately a hole appears in older Sonja's chest, and you're like, "Oh shit, what now?" And older Sonja wakes up in what looks like a different timeline where she never became the Red Sonja we all know and love.
Huh.
Like she's dressed in casual medieval maiden's clothes. And it's just a one page.
She's dressing
She
casual
wakes up.
Friday. She's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
No, it's just a one page. She wakes up in a bedroom somewhere, and it's played like it was a nightmare. And a character who I think is supposed to be a mom, is supposed to be her mom, excuse me, just goes, "You all right, dear? Did you have a bad dream?" And the narration is like, "We are all the products of our choices. And Red Sonja's future was forged by choices made in her past." So I'm guessing the next issue is going to be dealing with this new timeline that was created and Sonja's past and like her trying to fix things to get back to the present that she knows.
Yeah. We both read I Am Iron Man, an anniversary Iron Man issue.
Yeah, this is meant to be like the Antman and the Wasp books that we've enjoyed so much, and it's okay.
It's a little solid one-shot adventure of just like
Mhm.
this is Tony Stark. His technology goes awry. He tries his hardest to fix it, and he will always sacrifice his own happiness for the sake of others.
Yeah. It's a very basic Iron Man story, if I'm being honest. It wasn't the most engaging thing in the world, but
The art's good.
the art's good. There's some really creative panel layouts here, was the main thing I noticed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing this artist doing other stuff in the future, but the rest of it, like this book itself, I think I could have gone without reading it, and it wouldn't have really put a dampener on my week. And I'm probably not going to read the second issue.
Yeah, I liked it enough. I read Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I almost read this, but it's been a week, man.
You would probably dislike it because it's fucking weird.
Oh boy.
It starts with
Well, I liked the original Cosmic Ghost Rider book.
Here's the thing: it's not weird because Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's weird because of how it's structured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cosmic Ghost Rider is like doing punishment and killing people, everything. He then wakes up. It was a nightmare. He's in a back room at a bar and he's a handyman. He's helping things out. A lawman comes in. It's space lawman, but lawman, alien dude. shows up and goes like, hey, you guys are holding Frank Castle. That's no good. You can't be having no Frank Castle. Frank shows up and goes like, the fuck you doing, bitch? They have a little fight, and he shoots the owner of the bar. A different Frank wakes up and goes like, that must have been a really bad dream, because I would never hesitate to pull the trigger, as he turns into Ghost Rider. And that's the end of that little story. And I'm going like, what's going on here? It's fun, it's good, it's well written. What's the story?
Interesting.
And then it does have a backup. It has a backup.
Hmm.
It is literally Cosmic Ghost Rider is asleep.
I guess backups are just in right now, huh?
A lot of
it seems like every book is incorporating a backup now.
Yeah. This one's very dreamy focused, because Ghost Rider wakes up and I feel like this is also a reference to the ongoing Punisher book. He wakes up and a zombified version of his wife is beside him in bed with lingerie. And he's like, that's fucked up. Then all of his military buddies are zombies and walk in and go like, Frank, you're a fucker. And he's like, oh, shit. And then like Galen shows up. Galactus shows up and picks him up and goes like, Frank Castle, you are guilty. And he's like, oh, Galen, you look different. And it's like, you will be punished. And he's like, oh, fuck me. He starts fighting. He does all the things. He's fighting, and eventually 2 kids show up, and he goes like, ah, fuck. I'm sorry, kids. You're not real. Bang, bang. And then he just goes like, all right, cool. You done? And an alien with like an amulet of magic just shows up and goes like, you killed my family. You just killed my planet. And he's like, hey, here's where you fucked up. Galactus would never let me call him Galen. So I knew it was all fake. Don't go fucking with magic. He takes the amulet, crushes it, and he just fucking leaves.
All right.
It's good. It's interesting. I am gonna wait to see what happens in the second issue, see what's going on there. I also read Venom.
Hey, did you get that adrenaline momentum?
Yes, because Eddie is an Eddie focused book.
Nice.
It's a lot about like Bedlam, just dealing with going back to Limbo and dealing with. It's basically, here's what Bedlam does that eventually will turn him into the next step of the Venom cycle. Because remember, like all the Venom King in Blacks that were in that little garden are all Eddie, just at different points in the timeline. So this is how Bedlam becomes the next point in the timeline. Okay.
All right.
Do you remember forever ago, as I've been explaining Thor to you, how there was this one dude from Limbo who just showed up in Asgard covered in a Venom symbiote? And Thor's just like, what the fuck is going on? And he fights him and beats him?
No, but that sounds like something you would have explained to me.
It happened in a Donny Cates Thor book. It just happened. There was no explanation. This is the explanation! They explain of like, because Limbo has a weird time thing, Bedlam fights this demon, kicks his ass, he gets covered in venom goo, and gets sent to Asgard.
Huh.
They set this up months ago.
Neat.
Meanwhile, Eddie is kind of falling in like this void area of psychosis and everything. He's falling. And it's just like, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, sometimes Eddie needs a hand. And then a fucking Venom hand with like a wick on each finger shows up. Like, okay. There is an old magic talisman that was, you like cut off the left or the right hand of a hanged man, and it's supposed to have magic power. And you turn it into a candle. Like, and it's supposed to evoke that, and it's supposed to be like, oh, magic symbolism and stuffs. And it's like, ooh. But also the Venom hand is an iconic hand because of the wrecked the rectangle on the back. So overall, good Venom. Is that the last book? That's the last book. Hey, guess what? That's the last book. How are you feeling?
Oh,
buddy?
thank fuck.
We've been going for 3 hours. Tell the people where they can find you.
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. You can find them at the Vacuuminator on YouTube. You can also follow me on TikTok. I'm releasing clips of my videos on TikTok now. That's the _Vacuuminator, and I do action figure photography on Instagram at the _Vacuuminator. And I guess if you want, you can also follow me on Tumblr, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com, and this thing called twitter.com. That's at the Vacuuminator.
Hell yeah.
That's what that is.
Hell yeah. Hey, I'm Boingo Writer. I do a variety of things. I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/BoingoWriter every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. A lot of stuff coming up this week. Woohoo. I also have YouTube videos. I release a weekly review of Kamen Rider Geats as well as other scripted videos on YouTube at Boingo Writer. You can find a link to that in the description. In fact, you can find links in the description to all my other social media, including Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Tumblr. Wahoo, weehee. I just released some music on Bandcamp. There's no links for that, so I don't worry about
It's
that.
good music. We've used it in many Modular shows.
But this has been No Price Podcast, the comic book podcast from Modular Media. We also have other podcasts, including Components, where we just hang around, bullshit, interview people every once in a while. But yeah, just hang around, talk. We also have Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media club where one member of the crew tells the other people what to fucking read or watch, and then we'll talk about it. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. We also have Twit. You want to tell the people about Twit?
It's a fucking tokusatsu podcast. You know what tokusatsu is. It's just a fucking superhero live-action special effects shows with monsters that you like. I know you like it.
Like The Flash and Arrow?
Exactly. No, those shows are fucking a merry toku, and everybody knows it.
But hey, this has been Modular Media. Like the video, leave us a comment, tell us what you thought about all the comic news that we gave you. Subscribe to see this podcast and many more. And hey, Vac, do you have anything else you would like to say?
I find it slightly entertaining that we both used the same GIF when we retweeted the Modular tweet about tonight's episode, because
twice in a week.
By some happenstance of luck this week, somebody actually made a GIF of the moment from the thumbnail, and that's kind of fun.
Enough said.